Chapter 1152. The universe lords of the various powers of the universe were still rushing around the primeval planets, painstakingly searching for traces of the Blood Cloud Hall Master. However, a piece of news suddenly came. The Star River Master of the Northern Border Alliance and the Blood Cloud Hall Master were engaged in a head-on battle. The Blood Cloud Hall Master was only lightly injured by the Star River Master's all-out attack, and his aura did not change at all. After that, the Star River Master voluntarily gave up and left. Impossible! The Star Lord is going all out? I might be able to take on an all-out Master of the Galaxy, but I would still be heavily injured. That Blood Cloud Hall Master's aura didn't change at all? How could he be so powerful? Is the Blood Cloud Hall Master hiding in the Blood Cloud Hall and using the Blood Cloud Hall to block this move? What? No. He blocked the Master of the Galaxy's ultimate move in a head-on battle? The Masters of the Universe, who were searching the primordial planets, were completely shocked. They could not believe what they had heard, and they tried to get to the bottom of everything. The more they asked, the more they understood about the battle, and the more despair they felt. The Master of the Galaxy had used his best treasure, and his most heaven-defying ultimate move. The Blood Cloud Hall Master took it head-on and his injuries were negligible? Powerless. Every universe lord felt a sense of helplessness. Even existences like God Lord Beaconfire were confident that they were on par with the Star River Lord. But he didn't dare say he could surpass the Master of the Galaxy. Let's go. Let's go back. He left just like that? So what if I don't leave? If even the Master of the Galaxy couldn't do anything to him, then no Master of the Universe could do anything to the Blood Cloud Hall Master. Even the strongest being in the universe was only slightly stronger than the Master of the Galaxy. In the primeval universe, the power of the universe's strongest expert was greatly restricted. Even the Master of the Galaxy was unable to injure the Blood Cloud Hall Master, so what could the universe's strongest expert do? Heavily injure the Blood Cloud Hall Master? Let's go. One by one, the Masters of the universe gave up. After all, they felt helpless in this pursuit. Unexpectedly, the Blood Cloud Hall Master has become so powerful. Although the Blood Cloud Hall Master was powerful back then, he wasn't this powerful. Even the Blood Cloud Hall Master would flee at the sight of an existence like the Starry River Lord. They wouldn't even dare to resist. Now that I've become stronger, it'll be even harder to kill him. Some of the universe lords took the initiative to leave. That was how the universe worked. Strength decides one's fate. No matter how crazy, wanton, or evil one was, if one could become the strongest expert in the universe, then the major powers wouldn't dare to provoke them. Instead, they would try to curry favor with them. Like Mountain Guest, Demon God Void, and the other strongest experts of the solitary universe, they had strange tempers and would kill whenever they wanted to. However, none of the forces dared to kill them. They didn't even dare to do so. Why? Not to mention becoming the strongest in the universe, as long as one reached the level of the Lord of the Galaxy, it would be enough for them to be invited and worshipped by the major forces. Obviously. The fact that the Blood Cloud Hall Master was able to withstand the Master of the Galaxy's most powerful attack without sustaining much damage meant that he was almost at that level. Don't provoke that madman again. Don't provoke him. He can't be killed and he's good at escaping. He also has no worries. The only way to suppress and seal him forever is to pay a great price. But no power is willing to pay such a price. After all, the Blood Cloud Hall Master is just an individual. He doesn't involve the survival of the major forces. This battle would determine their positions. Back then, the Blood Cloud Hall Master had gone from being wanted by the major forces of the universe to someone they couldn't be bothered to provoke. It wasn't that the major forces didn't want to recruit him, it was just that from history, trying to recruit him would result in him attacking and killing him. This was a madman. Luo Feng originally planned to circle around the primal star for a few more days. However, He didn't expect the universe lords to leave one by one. The search had obviously decreased. Naturally, Luo Feng quietly left the primal star and headed to the outside world, Luo Feng's god country. Rumble, the ocean had 3 chi waves even though there was no wind. And the endless dark ocean that was tens of billions of km wide had shockingly huge waves. Like thunder rumbling, it surged and surged. In the air above the endless dark ocean, in the center of the god country, within the majestic shrine, Luo Feng stood before the shrine and gazed down at the endless god country. I'm back! It's over. Luo Feng smiled, feeling relaxed like never before. Thinking back to the series of events that made him famous, the main reason was because of the void demon god coming to kill him. When he went to kill Tianhua Knight, he didn't expect him to hide in a flying palace-type treasure. Hence, a huge wave arose, killing over 800 universe lords, battling universe lords, unleashing his miniature universe to kill over 6,000 of them. His name spread throughout the universe, shocking everyone. The moment the Blood Cloud Palace leader appeared, it caused a huge wave, completely diverting everyone's attention. My goal has been achieved. I'm on par with the Ban Fu leader, and I've unleashed my strongest techniques. He's completely a universe lord, and an extremely hard to deal with universe lord, Luo Feng thought. His only weakness was, he couldn't control the space around him. This point might be suspected by other warriors. However, so what if they suspected? Being able to unleash the golden light and miniature universe had already allowed Luo Feng to unleash an absolute universe lord's battle strength. From the perspective of the major powers of the universe, Luo Feng was already a clear universe lord's battle strength. Moreover, he had a few clones. He was extremely hard to deal with. However, the Star River Lord is really strong. Luo Feng sighed. Even with the armor, without the Star Pagoda shuttle to block, I'm afraid one move would destroy 50% of my god body. The Star Pagoda shuttle would first block. After that, with the armor weakening, it would still destroy 20% of his god body. If it was just the Blood Shadow Blade, losing 50% of his god body was very normal. 1 or 2 moves would probably be enough to kill him, unless he was fully equipped. Compared to the pinnacle of universe lords, my god body is a little weaker, and my attack weapon is too weak. Luo Feng frowned. Against the universe lords, just the Blood Shadow Blade doesn't seem enough. Deep Fire Emperor, one of his clones, used a pair of top-level treasures. The hammers, their power could be stacked. And the Deep Fire Emperor's position in the universe wasn't that high. Like the Flame Emperor, he used the Flame God Halberd, which was also an absolute treasure. It was on the same level as Luo Feng's armor. The Primal Chaos City leader had 3 great clones, the strongest naturally fought in the Universe C. Even in the actual universe, he wore the 1,000 treasure armor and wielded a gem rod. The 1,000 treasure armor was merely a domain treasure, on the same level as the Galaxy Lord's domain treasure, a battle treasure. Even though Luo Feng hadn't seen his teacher use it, the two were probably not too far apart. My battle weapon is a little lacking. Didn't teacher say that if I killed 10 of the universe lords or 1 universe lord, he would create an absolute treasure for me? Luo Feng thought, for example, to create an absolute treasure, like the Flame God Halberd, that's enough. He didn't have to ask for an absolute treasure. After all, the absolute treasures of the attack category were extremely valuable too. Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a green stone tag. Teacher. Luo Feng's consciousness entered the green tablet and transmitted the message. This tablet was a normal treasure made by the Mountain Guest for transmitting messages. This made Luo Feng respect Mountain Guest. The Blood Cloud Pearl was a disguised treasure, the green stone tag was used to send messages, the armor and Star Pagoda were all extremely demanding on the owner. Anyway, when Mountain Guest made a move, it was very different from the normal treasures of the universe. Haha, disciple, I already know everything you've done in the primal star. However, why did you clash head-on with the Galaxy Lord? That clash, didn't you scare the other powers? In the future, it'll be hard for them to group up and kill you. A message quickly transmitted over. Luo Feng was speechless. So it was like that? No wonder back then, when his teacher met with the Galaxy Lord, he immediately fled and didn't fight at all. With his teacher's strength as the universe's strongest, even if it was just a clone, he could definitely take on the Galaxy Lord. I didn't expect that, and I couldn't even flee back then, Luo Feng said. Right, your fleeing abilities aren't enough. In terms of fleeing abilities, the Blood Cloud Palace leader back then was disguised as Mountain Guest. Naturally, his fleeing abilities were extremely strong. What's the matter? Mountain Guest asked. Teacher, I killed the Deep Fire Emperor's clone. That counts as killing a Universe Lord, right? Luo Feng said. My disciple, your thoughts are too fantastical, Mountain Guest said. Luo Feng was speechless. Looks like it wasn't something good. Of course it doesn't count, Mountain Guest said. However, killing a Universe Lord's clone and a true Universe Lord, the difficulty should be the same. Luo Feng refuted. Of course it's not the same, Mountain Guest said. The Blood Cloud Palace leader is infamous. If he didn't have a clone, he wouldn't dare to fight you alone unless he had a certain level of confidence. And those with clones, even if they were weaker, would still dare to take the risk. You say, if that Deep Fire Emperor didn't have a clone, would he dare to fight you alone? Luo Feng was speechless. Right. The many Universe Lords that chased after him all moved in groups of 2 or 3, and those that moved alone all had something to rely on. No one is stupid. To kill a Universe Lord, it's not as easy as you think. With a clone, he would occasionally take the risk and give you a chance. Mountain Guest laughed loudly. To get teacher to make you a treasure for free, it's not that simple. Luo Feng curled his lips. Helpless. Teacher, I killed the Deep Fire Emperor's clone and acquired some treasures. However, there's nowhere to exchange them. If I were to give them to the race, wouldn't that reveal my identity? Luo Feng was worried about this too. The treasures the Blood Cloud Palace leader stole were stolen. Many of them were very famous. They could be quickly identified. Hence, selling them was very troublesome. Right. Then leave it to me. Come to me to exchange for treasures. Mountain Guest said, these are the universe coordinates to where I live. You can head over directly. A string of coordinates was transmitted over. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. Mountain Guest had been his teacher for so long, yet he hadn't been to his base yet. Yes, your disciple will rush over as fast as possible. Luo Feng didn't care much, swiftly organizing the treasures and leaving the God Country, heading towards the Mountain Guest's base. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1153. In a desolate region of the universe, it was over 90 billion light-years away from humanity. Luo Feng first used his God Country to teleport to the nearest coordinates, and then using teleportation, he spent 2 days before finally arriving. Teacher, this is where we live? The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng carried the blood shadow blade on his back and stood in the pitch-black space. With a glance, it was completely pitch-black. There was no light at all, not a single star. It was absolutely silent and cold. Universe nothingness? Luo Feng thought. As the universe evolves, galaxies are born, and there's always some distance between galaxies, and large amounts of galaxies form a starfield. The distance between starfields is even greater. The distance between starfields is even greater. As for the human domain and the other domains, they were filled with incomparably vast pitch-black land. Even in the universe, there are a few 100 million light-years or even a few billion light-years in diameter, completely dark and silent. With Luo Feng's power, if his vision couldn't even see a single light, Then this empty space must be terrifyingly huge. Disciple, why aren't you coming in? A voice resounded in Luo Feng's ears. Luo Feng immediately turned. Hua! A resplendent golden and beautiful bridge appeared. The entire bridge seemed to be made of transparent crystals. Luo Feng immediately flew over and landed on the bridge, simultaneously walking towards the end. As he walked, he immediately felt the space change violently. Luo Feng immediately checked the universe coordinates. He was shocked to find that every step he took on the bridge crossed over 10 million light-years. From one end of the bridge to the other, the universe coordinates had already moved 1.2 billion light-years. At the end of the bridge was an exquisite pool. Within it were all sorts of fishes swimming. Not right. Luo Feng turned to take a look. The bridge before seemed like it was only 100 m long, yet it had crossed 1.2 billion light-years. The pool before him was 100 m in diameter. However, with Luo Feng's god energy senses, how was this a pool? How was there any fish? It was simply an extremely powerful domain treasure. Walking along the pool, there were flower beds and grass patches. Not right. Luo Feng looked carefully. Those blades of grass were actually ancient trees. Even the decorating stones beside were actually star-sized metals. Powerful! His control over space is too incredible. As Luo Feng walked, he was getting more and more shocked. His teacher's residence was extremely quiet. Like that exquisite palace and pool, they were respectively a flying palace treasure and a domain treasure. As for the other items, they were mostly precious materials. After entering the palace and arriving at a garden, Zhang Xian saw the mountain guest holding a rock and stroking it with his eyes closed. Teacher, Luo Feng respectfully bowed. Mountain passenger opened his eyes and put the rock in his hand to the side. He smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. You sure came fast, teacher. This place is too remote, otherwise your disciple would have arrived earlier. Luo Feng laughed. Teacher, why did you choose this place to stay? Quiet. The mountain traveler said. Furthermore, this part of the starry void has a diameter of over 1 billion light-years. Although it's a vast expanse of nothingness, it's incomparably barren, making it impossible for races to reproduce here. But I'm a lone ranger, and this place treats me quite well. What's more, this is just one of my residences in the primeval universe. By the way, where are your stolen goods? What do you mean stolen goods? Luo Feng was helpless. However, he still took out the godly hammer, armor and green seed that the Deep Fire Lord used. What do you want? Mountain passenger glanced at them. Pinnacle treasure blade. Luo Feng said. The pair of divine hammers that he had taken out was a top-grade supreme treasure that could be stacked, and the armor was also a top-grade supreme treasure. However, the green seed was only an ordinary soul-type supreme treasure. It was worth 60 supreme treasure points in the human race, very close to a top-grade supreme treasure weapon. Not enough. Mountain passenger looked at Luo Feng. I won't take advantage of you. I'll definitely pay 30% less than what you'd pay in the race. But yours is obviously not enough. Plus the blood shadow blade. Luo Feng took out the blade on his back. Since he was going to change, he didn't need the blood shadow blade anymore. Mountain passenger still shook his head. Teacher. Luo Feng stared. I only have one pinnacle treasure blade. Mountain passenger said, even though it's not a pinnacle treasure, your treasures are still lacking. Luo Feng frowned. He was already using all the treasures around him. The ones he didn't use were the treasures in the Blood Cloud Palace treasury. Even though he had gotten many normal treasures from the Deep Fire Lord, they were still classified by Luo Feng as part of the Blood Cloud Palace. After all, he owed the Blood Cloud Palace treasury a little. Oh right. Within the Deep Fire Lord's world ring, there was still a high-level treasure and the Suppression Valley token. Plus these two. Luo Feng took out a green and gold mixed shield and the Suppression Valley token crystal. Suppression Valley token? Mountain passenger saw and laughed. I've been very bored recently, going to Suppression Valley isn't bad either. Alright, with these two, I can barely make it. Teacher, you're going to Suppression Valley? Luo Feng stared. The treasure that appeared in Suppression Valley was a Sword River Luo level treasure, and it wasn't a complete one. Luo Feng had the Qi Mirror Stone, and had high hopes for the Qi God Palace. He didn't have much ambition for Suppression Valley. For the sake of an absolute treasure weapon, not going to Suppression Valley wasn't a big deal. This was an absolute treasure weapon, not much weaker than the Sword River Luo. Why can't I go? Mountain Passenger stood up. Life is long, one has to find some fun. Mountain Passenger walked into the distance, shouting, "Still not coming, you don't want your treasure blade anymore?" Luo Feng followed. This was a hall with very special decorations. There were many carvings on the walls of the hall, and there were many pictures. There were pictures of 2 experts fighting on a vast plain, and there were pictures of 1 expert killing a large number of experts. Waves of ancient aura and pressure were emitted from the pictures, and at the same time, the entire hall fell into a strange atmosphere. Almost like I'm in a battlefield. Luo Feng felt his blood boil within the palace, feeling the urge to fight and kill. This made him shocked. Even my willpower is being affected. This palace is filled with treasures, including the decorations. They are all treasures, however the majority are normal treasures. Mountain Passenger said. Luo Feng's gaze swept across. Inside the hall there were many tools, and on the tools there were sabers, swords, ropes, shuttles, maces, hammers, axes, bells, towers, boats, balls, flowers, grass, cloth, shields, sculptures, cubes. There were all kinds of strange objects, and there were thousands of them scattered in the hall. They are all treasures? Luo Feng was shocked. All of them, even the equipment is. Mountain Passenger laughed. Normal treasures can only be casually made. To me, they aren't worth much. Like message tags, decorations, etc. They are all normal treasures. Luo Feng was speechless. Even the craftsman god lord wouldn't dare say this. Only Mountain Passenger dared to say that normal treasures were casually made. Which one is mine? Luo Feng asked. In the corner. Mountain Passenger pointed. Luo Feng followed the direction of Mountain Passenger's finger and saw a normal-looking battle blade in the corner. He immediately walked over. The scabbard was gray in color, on it were some carvings, pure and beautiful. The moment Luo Feng touched it, he felt a monstrous killing intent invade him. Rumble! In the endless dark space, this battle blade was tens of thousands of km long. It floated horizontally in the endless dark space. As the blade was slowly unsheathed, a terrifying killing intent invaded Luo Feng's willpower. Chong! The blade was completely unsheathed, killing intent filled the air. At this time, Luo Feng's life imprint within his divine energy was completely imprinted within. The blade's name? Absolute Guest. Luo Feng said softly. You can use it for now, this blade is enough for you. Mountain Passenger said. Of course the most suitable for you is to use that gold horn world stone as the core to create a pinnacle treasure blade. That's the gold horn world stone formed from the endless gold essence of your internal world. The moment it's made into a weapon, it would be the most suitable for you. The only thing is it requires a lot of materials which you can't take out right now. Gold horn world stone? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. So even his teacher had plans. The gold horn world stone is formed from the trillions of kilometers of the internal world's endless gold essence. It's the limit of the metal materials in the primal universe. At least in the primal universe, it's considered the pinnacle of metal. Only in the universe ocean can you find something better than it. However, to your body, a weapon made from the gold horn world stone is the most suitable for you. Luo Feng asked, what materials do I need? Wait until you've killed the Universe Lord, or the 10 Pinnacle Universe Lords before we talk. Mountain Passenger said, this pinnacle treasure blade, Absolute Guest, was made with great effort by my teacher. Don't let it down. Luo Feng nodded. Alright, you can go back now. Mountain Passenger didn't hold Luo Feng back at all. Yes. Since his teacher had already spoken, Luo Feng bowed and quickly left. After watching Luo Feng leave, the Mountain Passenger returned to his garden and sat there. He picked up the stone again and lowered his head to look at it. He lightly sighed and said, "When will I be able to improve further?" Not long after Luo Feng returned to his god country, he had just begun to familiarize himself with this extremely powerful pinnacle treasure blade Absolute Guest when he received a mail from the Virtual Universe Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng, Blade River Leader, the primal star matter has ended and you still haven't come to find me. Don't you know that the universe lords of humanity haven't rested at all because of your matter? Hurry and come to me. The moment he received the mail, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. His heart couldn't help but race. Naturally he guessed that the primal star matter would cause the upper echelons of humanity to hold an emergency meeting to discuss his matter. Now that his teacher had summoned him, it seemed like there was a result. Teacher called me Blade River Leader? Luo Feng couldn't care less, immediately connecting his consciousness to the virtual universe. The 21st chapter has ended. Luo Feng had the complete 9 levels manual, grasping the Star Pagoda. This chapter could be considered as entering the pinnacle of the universe. This was just the beginning. Tomorrow, Tomato will stop writing for a day to prepare the next chapter. This Saturday's break will naturally be gone. The day after tomorrow, on the 10th, the new chapter will officially begin. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1154. Virtual Universe Thunder Island's highest point. An ancient, grayish-green round table was surrounded by an endless flow of air. Beside the grayish-green stone table were 6 huge stone chairs. At the same time, there were complicated carvings on the back of each chair. Even the grayish-green stone table had a large number of carvings of pictures. Teacher, sit first. The Primal Chaos City Leader walked over and sat down. He then pointed to the second seat on the left. You sit there? Yes. Luo Feng sat down, simultaneously looking at the table before him. He was filled with curiosity. He had followed his teacher for so many years, yet he never knew there was such a place in his palace. This place was actually a floating land right above the Primal Chaos City Leader's palace. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the carvings on the table. The carvings had many pictures: 3 warriors bowing respectfully to one warrior, a lone warrior massacring everyone, and 2 warriors teaming up to attack a group of warriors. The carvings were very abstract. Luo Feng could vaguely tell that one of them was the Primal Chaos City Leader. And my stone chair. Before Luo Feng sat, he noticed the carvings on the back of the chair too. There were many pictures on the back of the chair too. Like a person facing tens of thousands of silhouettes, like a huge oval covering thousands of silhouettes falling to their deaths. You should have guessed it. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled at Luo Feng. Humanity's highest decision, unanimously approve. You are already humanity's 19th Universe Lord. Luo Feng first couldn't suppress his joy. After which he was shocked within. He couldn't help but say, 19th. Then didn't humanity have a total of 18 Universe Lords before? This was one of the highest number of Universe Lords Luo Feng knew of. Like the Bug Clan and Automaton race, they had very few Universe Lords. It was hard to say if there were more than 10. And the Demon Race Universe Lord numbers added up would at most be equivalent to humanity's. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. The data I know. Why? Luo Feng was curious. His authority before was that of an elite Universe Lord. Regarding the Universe Lords from other powers, including humanity's Universe Lords, he had access to a lot of information. According to what he found, humanity should have 15 Universe Lords. Why 18? You found 15? The Primal Chaos City Leader laughed. No matter which faction, there will always be some secrets. Like the Universe Lords, our human race has a Universe Lord that hasn't been made public. Excluding you, the entire human race has 18 Universe Lords. Our Virtual Universe Company and the Battle Axe Dojo have 5 each, the Universe Mercenary Alliance has 3, the Universe First Bank has 3 and the Universe Galaxy Bank has 2. Luo Feng listened carefully. This was indeed different from what he knew before. The Virtual Universe Company only had 4 members, obviously one had always been in hiding. Of course, including you, our Virtual Universe Company has 6. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. You are also the first of my disciples to reach the Master of the Universe. Ha ha ha, at least on this point, I have regained some ground in front of my junior brother. Juniors? Luo Feng raised his eyebrows. He couldn't help but ask, Teacher has juniors. There are 2 junior apprentice brothers. The Primal Chaos City Lord said. The 2 junior apprentice brothers I'm talking about are the Universe Masters. If you count those who aren't Masters of the Universe, there are quite a few. Luo Feng nodded. His own senior and junior brothers also had a bunch of them. Not right. If there were juniors, then there should be a teacher. The Primal Chaos City Master's teacher had 2 juniors who were both Universe Masters. That meant that teacher had taught 3 Universe Masters? Who was this teacher? Let me first introduce you to the Virtual Universe Company's Universe Masters. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. The first Dragon Leader. Dragon Leader is one of the earliest elders of the Virtual Universe Company. He's long since stepped into the Universe Master level. You've met him before. Luo Feng nodded. The second, my junior, Ice Peak Leader. He's extremely hard to get close to, extremely cold and solitary. However, he's done very well in many important matters. Luo Feng too knew of this Ice Peak Leader. He was an absolute being in close combat. His battle strength was extremely strong. He too belonged to the pinnacle of the Universe Masters. Compared to the Primal Chaos City Master, he was probably just slightly weaker. In the vast universe, he was definitely an extremely powerful being. Compared to the Flame Emperor, he was probably even stronger than him. The third, my junior, Darkness Emperor. He rarely interferes with the big and small matters of our human race. He rarely shows himself. Not many even know of his existence. Back then, he was an extremely low-profile and secretive disciple under my teacher. Unknowingly, he quietly became a Universe Master. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. Luo Feng was shocked within. Darkness Emperor. He had never heard of such a being before. The various powers of the universe don't know of such a being within our human race. Of course, the Darkness Emperor is very famous in the Universe Ocean. He's an extremely terrifying Universe Master, haha. Even if the various powers of the universe meet him in the Universe Ocean, they probably don't even know that he's actually from our human race. The Primal Chaos City Master said. The fourth, Yuho Leader. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, before you entered the upper echelon, amongst the 5 Universe Lords of the Virtual Universe Company, this Nether Marquis Lord was the youngest. Also, he was the direct disciple of my junior, Darkness Lord. Ah! Luo Feng was shocked. Yuho Leader was an extremely arrogant and flamboyant person. He was also an extremely strong Universe Master. Of course, he was weaker than the Ice Peak Leader and the Primal Chaos City Master. However, he was still one of the stronger Universe Masters. In terms of battle strength, he was close to the Blood Cloud Palace Leader's disguise back then. Such a Universe Master was actually the disciple of the Darkness Emperor. My junior's disciple became a Universe Master. Now, my disciple too has become a Universe Master. The Primal Chaos City Master smiled. From now on, our virtual universe system has 6 Universe Masters. Alright, I'll summon the 4 of them now. At least, our virtual universe system will gather first. The Primal Chaos City Master said. Luo Feng nodded. Father and son soldiers, the human race was split into a few small groups. His own virtual universe system was naturally considered a small group. However, from the looks of it, this small group's battle strength was extremely terrifying. The Primal Chaos City Master and Ice Peak Leader were both at the pinnacle of the Universe Masters. The Dragon Leader wasn't much weaker either. Darkness Emperor was even more mysterious and unpredictable. From the sounds of it, he should be comparable to the Primal Chaos City Master. Yuho Leader was a junior, but his battle strength was extremely strong. Luo Feng in this group, his battle strength was probably comparable to Yuho Leader. Of course, this didn't include the Star Tower. Luo Feng sat there waiting quietly. A moment later, a silhouette walked over from afar. He was tall and skinny, with two curved horns on each of his ears like two scythes. There was also an eye on his forehead, and he was dressed in a dark green scaled armor. As he was in the virtual universe, he didn't carry his signature, Yuho Thorn, on his back. Yuho Leader. Luo Feng recognized him immediately and stood up. Luo Feng. Yuho Leader was a warrior filled with killing intent. However, when he saw Luo Feng walk over, he smiled and shouted loudly. Yuho. Luo Feng smiled. Teacher Uncle. Yuho Leader bowed to the Primal Chaos City Master to show respect. Even though it was just a slight bow, it was enough. After all, he was a Universe Lord. Sit. The Primal Chaos City Master said. Yuho Leader had just sat down when he laughed loudly. Teacher Uncle. Right now our virtual universe company has one more universe lord than the Battleaxe Coliseum. Haha, the way those universe lords from the Battleaxe Coliseum looked at us when they were deciding earlier was very interesting. It is interesting. In the distance another silhouette walked over. That tall and sturdy body, extending a dragon tail, one look and one could tell it was the Dragon Emperor. It's been a long time since I've seen those Universe Lords from the Battleaxe Coliseum so unhappy. The Dragon Emperor smiled as he walked over and sat down. Simultaneously, he smiled and nodded at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you were indeed powerful on Primal Planet. One move killed over 6,000 knights. According to our estimations, each of the three great alliances lost at least one pinnacle domain treasure. Luo Feng shook his head. I miscalculated. I should have fought with the Ban Fu Emperor for a while longer, allowing more knights to enter my attack range. The Dragon Lord and the Nether Marquis Lord froze for a moment, then burst into laughter. A cold aura emanated from the laughter. It was a silver-haired man with a blade on his back. He was dressed in an ancient armor that had blood stains on it. Just from his looks, at least amongst the 6 Universe Lords of the Virtual Universe Company, this Ice Peak Leader was the most handsome, and it was in line with the aesthetics of the human race. The Ice Peak Leader nodded towards the Primal Chaos City Leader and sat down, after which his gaze swept past the Dragon Leader, Luo Feng and Yuho Lord. The Dragon Leader, Luo Feng and Yuho Lord all nodded when their gazes met. Cold enough, Luo Feng thought. After waiting a while, a silhouette walked over from the distance. Before the silhouette could be seen clearly, a strange, evil energy emanated. From the endless energy flow, the silhouette became clear. He wore a simple black robe, and within the robe was a silver and black peculiar armor. He was bald, his skin was as white as jade. On his head were extremely peculiar and complicated black engravings. Whoever he looked at, it was like a venomous snake in the night spitting its tongue at the back of someone's neck. Even the surrounding space and time was affected by him. The entire space and time was immersed in a peculiar atmosphere. Junior, the Primal Chaos City Leader said. Senior, Darkness Leader said. Luo Feng was shocked. He suddenly realized the huge difference between his teacher, the Primal Chaos City Leader, and the Darkness Leader. The Primal Chaos City Leader sat there, and that region was filled with endless peace and calm. And the region where the Darkness Leader sat was filled with endless darkness and evil, making one's heart tremble. The two were completely opposing energies, and they were completely equal. No wonder he was able to teach the Yu-Ho leader. Luo Feng thought. The darkness leader had already sat down. He looked at Luo Feng. Senior, this is your disciple Luo Feng? P.S. New chapter begins. Please recommend me, all the brothers have recommended me. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1155. Being stared at by the Darkness Lord, it was like an evil song reverberating in one's mind, causing one to be affected uncontrollably. If the illusion was said to unknowingly seep into one's illusion, then the Darkness Lord didn't hide it at all. Everyone knew of his formless influence, however it was very hard to break free from it. Luo Feng, I greet your senior uncle. The Primal Chaos City leader said. The moment his voice was heard, the surrounding energy immediately became warm, sweeping away the evil aura from before. I greet my senior uncle. Luo Feng said. I heard you've trained for a little over 100,000 years. The Darkness Lord examined Luo Feng. To be able to reach such a level in such a short time, you are indeed my most exceptional disciple over the countless years. Luo Feng said, actually my training time is far more than 100,000 years. I've once trained in a place with extremely fast light flow for a very long time. Everyone including the Primal Chaos City leader nodded. Only then did they understand. However, the energy required to maintain the time room was extremely shocking. The faster the time flow, the more expensive it was, and the harder it was to maintain. And the evolution of the universe was incomparably long. Plus battle was the best way to train, hence very few powers arranged for geniuses to train in certain places. Good. The Primal Chaos City leader's gaze swept. Right now, our virtual universe's 6 universe leaders have gathered. Immediately the Dragon Leader, Ice Peak Leader, Darkness Lord, Yu-Ho Lord and Luo Feng all looked over, listening to the Primal Chaos City leader speak. In terms of strength and position, the Primal Chaos City leader was naturally the leader of the virtual universe. To be able to produce another universe leader, it's our virtual universe's fortune, and also humanity's fortune. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled, and this disciple of mine, in terms of survivability, he's probably at the top of the 6 of us. The Darkness Lord looked over. The Ice Peak leader too looked silently at Luo Feng. Really? The Lord of the Nether Marquis and the Dragon Travel Lord both asked. Luo Feng. 1. He has the talent to create clones. 2. One of his clones is similar to the 9 Underworld leader. The Primal Chaos City leader said directly. 9 Underworld leader? The Darkness Lord, Dragon leader, Ice Peak leader and Yu-Ho Lord all looked shocked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng said, I was lucky. With his teacher saying this, Luo Feng wasn't unhappy at all. He was very clear position was earned through strength. From the looks of it, the virtual universe lineage was extremely strong. On the surface, his strength should be close to that of the Lord of the Nether Marquis. As long as he revealed some of his techniques, his status would naturally be different. Moreover, there was no difference whether the boundless Serene Seas clone was exposed or not. It was just like how even if the Lord of the Netherworld were to announce it to the entire universe, no one would be able to do anything to him. Luo Feng, how big is your God body ocean? Darkness Lord asked curiously. The other universe lords were the same. After all, the Lord of the Netherworld's oceanic godly body was comparable to a supreme treasure, and countless experts were secretly envious of it. My training time is still short, my God ocean is still expanding. Luo Feng said, it's only a few tens of billions of km in diameter. Billions? The Lord of the Nether Marquis took a deep breath. The Darkness Lord, the Dragon Lord, and the Ice Peak Lord were all shocked. Oh my God! Even Li Huashan and the World Tree, which were considered super large, had a size of more than 100 million kilometers. One had to know that such a divine body was enough to make experts despair. As for the divine body ocean that spanned tens of billions of kilometers, they could only stare in shock. The rate at which the experts attacked the ocean with all their might be far from the rate at which the ocean recovered itself. Amazing! Respect! Such a huge god body. Darkness Lord, Ice Peak Lord and the others all praised, and their impression of Luo Feng had changed. Before, they only thought that the human race had another universe lord. However, Luo Feng's battle strength was still much lower than theirs. However, with the addition of the endless ocean, it immediately raised Luo Feng's status. One had to know, why was the Netherworld Lord so terrifying? It was because the Netherworld Lord dared to unleash his strongest natural abilities to risk his life every single time. Even if the Netherworld Lord self-destructed, a new Netherworld Lord would appear in an instant. However, even if the opponent had a clone, the cost of losing a powerful god body to recover would be huge. This made the Netherworld Lord one of the most difficult beings to deal with in the universe. Luo Feng, Darkness Lord, had a rare smile on his face. Use your ocean clone to unleash the Universe Lord's strongest technique and self-destruct. This move is enough for you to dominate the universe. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Yes. Unleashing I Am the Universe had a very high requirement for God energy. At the undying level, only perfect gene life forms could unleash it. And after stepping into the Universe Night level, the ocean clone's God energy was already 10 times higher than unleashing I Am the Universe. With a body size of over 9,000 kilometers tall, it was completely capable of unleashing I Am the Universe, directly unleashing a miniature universe destruction ultimate attack. Like his Earth body and the Golden Horned Beast, the reason why they didn't dare use the miniature universe destruction was because the power of the explosion didn't differentiate between friend and foe, even they themselves could be destroyed. However, the ocean clone had no such worries. However, from Luo Feng's point of view, he was currently only a universe knight. The power of the ocean clone's universe destruction wasn't strong enough. Once he stepped into the Universe Lord level, then this move would truly strike fear into the hearts of the other warriors. The trump card of the ocean clone was enough for Luo Feng to obtain a special position. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled. In a while, we'll be having the highest echelon of humanity's meeting. Before that, Luo Feng, do you have any plans for your Universe Lord title? Universe Lord title? Luo Feng pondered. The Blade River Emperor was just a disguise you made back then. Right now, the universe races call you the Blade River Leader. You can use the Blade River Leader or change it yourself, the Primal Chaos City leader said. After becoming a Universe Lord, they might have some thoughts, hence most Universe Lords will change their titles. Like me, I was tasked by my teacher to oversee Primal Chaos City. To make sure I don't forget my teacher's instructions, hence, I changed my title to Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng nodded. He understood. When the Universe Lords were weak, they didn't dare name themselves too powerful, as that would cause other beings to look down on them. And as their strength grew, their ambitions and goals would change too. There were even some who changed their universe titles. Titles? Luo Feng thought. Some warriors used their weapons to name themselves. Some of them were there to commemorate their hometown or some obsession in their hearts. Some of them were purely ambitious and so on. Milky Way Leader. Luo Feng smiled. I'll be called Milky Way Leader. He still remembered back then on Earth, looking up at the endless Milky Way and stars. Milky Way, that was his hometown. He had come this far, wasn't it to protect his family? Protect his hometown? Leader, that also represented his own territory, he had to protect it. Milky Way Leader. The 5 Masters of the Universe pondered for a moment and then nodded. A title was just a name. When one decided on one's own title, others wouldn't interfere. Unless the title was too ugly or taboo, like a human destroyer leader would naturally make the other humans unhappy. Normally, as long as it didn't violate the taboo, no matter how weird it was fine. Alright, then the sixth universe lord of the virtual universe will be Milky Way leader. The primal Chaos City leader stood up. Let's go meet the creator of the virtual universe. Creator of the virtual universe. Luo Feng was shocked within. The creator of the huge axe, the creator of the huge axe dojo. Just who was the creator of the virtual universe? Luo Feng had investigated before, but he couldn't find anything. His authority wasn't high enough. Let's go meet teacher. Darkness Lord stood up too. Let's go meet teacher. Ice Peak Lord stood up too. Immediately the 6 universe lords flew towards the endless chaos energy in the sky, following it. Luo Feng, the primal Chaos City leader, said as he flew, "Me, Darkness and Ice Peak, we are all teacher's disciples. Teacher has contributed greatly to our human race. If not for him, the human race wouldn't have become the pinnacle race so easily. Even the creator of the huge axe received his guidance and kindness. He is the first, strongest warrior of our human race in the universe. Because of him, me, Darkness and Ice Peak, we are where we are today." Following the primal Chaos City leader's voice, Dragon leader beside said, "I too received the guidance of Senior." Luo Feng held his breath. He knew, he had touched upon the deepest secrets of the human race. All these years, he only knew that the human race had the creator of the huge axe. Even from Mountain Passenger, he only knew the creator of the huge axe. He only knew that the strongest human was the creator of the huge axe. He had never heard of another one. Teacher's name is Primal. The primal Chaos City leader said, "Back then our human race was just a strong race. Under Teacher's leadership, we grew and grew stronger. Teacher roamed the universe, roaming the universe sea, killing countless. His fame was unparalleled, causing our human race to grow stronger. In the primal universe there were many strong warriors. However, Teacher was unrivaled. The other strongest warriors of the other universes could only avoid him. Even roaming the universe sea, he was the most famous. Unrivaled. No one could compare to Teacher." The primal Chaos City leader's eyes were filled with worship, almost as though he was recalling the scenes back then. Even the Darkness leader, Ice Peak leader and Dragon leader were silent, all immersed in their memories. Back then, the human race was the universe's strongest power. Even the ancestral god sect, protected by the universe energies, didn't dare to mess with us humans. Back then, it was our strongest time. The 6 warriors broke through the skies and flew. The surrounding chaos energy constantly parted. It was completely silent. Only the primal Chaos City leader's voice could be heard. Luo Feng was completely immersed in his thoughts. What a powerful being! Even in the primal universe and the universe sea, he was considered invincible. Even the other strongest warriors of the universe avoided him. "We've arrived," the primal Chaos City leader said. The surrounding endless energy flow had thinned. In the distant endless space there was a majestic statue. Luo Feng looked up. Under the energy flow, that unfathomably tall majestic statue had endless law ripples. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, space, time, gold, wood, water, many origin laws and even the movement laws rippled out from that statue. Suddenly, Luo Feng felt that this majestic statue was very similar to the universe energies. Author's note: 2 chapters completed. Virtual Universe Creator unveils, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1156. Primal Chaos City Leader, Ice Peak Leader and Darkness Leader were at the front. Dragon Leader, Nether Marquee Leader and Milky Way Leader Luo Feng were behind. 6 silhouettes broke through space and flew. In the endless space, the closer one got, the clearer the majestic statue became. The greatest being in human history? The strongest being in the primal universe and even the universe ocean? nurturing the primal Chaos City leader and the other two Universe Lord disciples? Luo Feng looked at the distant majestic statue. Even though he had only listened to his teacher's explanation before, his heart was already filled with respect and worship. What a heavenly being! Creating the virtual universe, forcing the other universe's strongest warriors to avoid him, making humanity the strongest power in the universe. Even the ancestral god sect didn't want to mess with humanity. His achievements. This is Yuan? Luo Feng observed quietly. Originally, it was a slightly skinny man wearing a simple white robe. He had a smile on his face. His smile was one of perfection after seeing through everything. Just by looking at the statue from afar and seeing the slight smile on his face, Luo Feng's state of mind became incomparably calm. The warmth of returning to a mother's embrace filled his heart. His eyes seemed to see through everything in the infinite universe. There was nothing he didn't know. His stature was imposing, indomitable. The endless universe revolved around him. Teacher, the primal Chaos City leader, Ice Peak leader and Darkness leader all stopped. The primal Chaos City leader bowed. Our virtual universe has another universe leader. He's also my disciple. Milky Way leader Luo Feng. Today I've specially brought him here to pay my respects to teacher. Luo Feng. The primal Chaos City leader turned to look at Luo Feng. Greetings to your teacher. Luo Feng immediately walked up to the primal Chaos City leader and bowed respectfully. Luo Feng greets the teacher. Towards this legendary being, Luo Feng had absolute respect. The human race was able to rise because of the primal. Even the creator of the huge axe was guided by him. The virtual universe was also created by him. If not for him, Earth's history would have changed. Your disciple has received teacher's orders. The primal Chaos City leader looked up at the majestic statue, his eyes gleaming with a special glow, guarding primal Chaos City, protecting humanity. Countless years I have never slacked. Now that Luo Feng has become a universe lord, humanity's strength has grown even stronger. I believe that the human race will become stronger and more prosperous. The Master of Darkness and the Peak of Ice bowed as well. They spoke softly, but their voices were completely isolated. The atmosphere in front of the statue was very oppressive. The invisible atmosphere affected the 6 masters of the universe present. Even the evil Lord of Darkness was like an obedient child. After a while, disciple will take his leave. The primal Chaos City master bowed. The other universe masters bowed as well before flying off. The 6 of them disappeared into the depths of the airflow. The majestic statue was still there, just like countless eras. Only the statue's eyes moved slightly, looking towards where the 6 silhouettes vanished. A faint voice resounded, Luo Feng? The 6 silhouettes flew within the energy flow. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, Teacher, why do I feel many origin low ripples from the ancestor statue? It's almost like the universe source land. The universe source, just how powerful was it? Even the strongest experts of the universe did not dare to resist. Billions of races and countless life forms cultivated by sensing the origin of the universe. Only by obtaining the divine power from the origin ocean could they achieve everything. That is the universe origin energy. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Right. The always silent and cold Ice Peak leader said, however, that is the virtual universe's universe origin energy. The virtual universe's universe origin energy? Luo Feng was shocked. There really was another universe origin energy? Within the virtual universe, everything can be simulated. Any origin law can be comprehended and trained within. This time the one who spoke was the Darkness Lord. His voice was evil and elegant. To be able to sense it within the virtual universe, this virtual universe naturally has its own universe origin energy. If it's just some illusions, how can it allow you to truly train? Luo Feng was speechless. Right, according to his knowledge of the illusions, there was indeed not a single one that could allow the strong to train. Illusions can also allow one to train, the primal chaos city leader said. It can even make one feel no different from reality. However, these illusions can only be unleashed by a handful of the strongest in the universe. Secondly, the nomological laws cultivated there had to be those that the universe's strongest experts knew. Thirdly, illusions that allow powerhouses to cultivate in them consume a lot of energy. The virtual universe was created by the ancestor, Luo Feng said. The laws that can be trained within the virtual universe, does that mean the ancestor knows them all? For the universe origin energy to be formed within the virtual universe, does that mean any ancestor knows it? Luo Feng couldn't believe it. Could it be that the various fusion laws, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, all the individual laws, even the universe laws were all learned? No. The primal chaos city leader smiled and glanced at Luo Feng. Back when Yu Ho became a universe lord and went to visit the ancestor, he too had his doubts. Haha. Yu Ho, speak to Luo Feng. The Yu Ho leader nodded and smiled at Luo Feng. The ancestor shouldn't know all the laws. Also, the virtual universe isn't an illusion. It's different from an illusion realm. In an illusion realm, experts would need a large amount of energy to cultivate laws and so on. However, the virtual universe maintains countless experts' cultivation at all times. Even universe supremacies and universe lords are practicing their secret techniques and so on. Luo Feng nodded. If it's an illusion, to maintain so many warriors practicing, how much energy would it take? The Yu Ho leader smiled. And in truth, the virtual universe doesn't consume energy at all. Ah! Luo Feng was stunned. Doesn't consume energy at all? If it was a large virtual space, it would require a lot of energy. And the virtual universe seemed to cover the entire universe. Countless humans connecting to the virtual universe network actually didn't consume energy at all? Junior Luo Feng. The Yu Ho leader smiled. You said that this primal universe sustains countless races and races every day. The strong battle, even the strong train and swallow the god energy of the origin ocean. You say, does the primal universe consume energy at all? The primal universe energy is eternal, Luo Feng said. The primal universe energy never dissipates, then why does the virtual universe have to consume energy? The Yu Ho leader said. Luo Feng was shocked. Could the virtual universe really compare to the primal universe? Couldn't be that powerful. Don't underestimate your ancestor. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Darkness leader and Ice Peak leader's eyes too were filled with respect and worship. Darkness leader said, back when my teacher was in the Universe Sea, not a single strongest warrior dared to clash with him. They all stayed far away. If he was still here, the other three alliances wouldn't dare plot against you. If they did, he would have long killed his way to the three alliances, and they would have to hand over treasures as compensation. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, then how did he fall? Luo Feng didn't finish his words, but the primal Chaos City leader and the other beings naturally understood. Teacher, he hasn't fallen. The primal Chaos City leader emphasized. Right, he's still alive. The Darkness leader nodded. How could he die? The Ice Peak leader said too. Luo Feng was stunned. That, no matter what, the human race only had one strongest warrior in the universe. Even the one he went to visit was just a statue. Teacher's power is overwhelming. Even amongst the strongest warriors in the universe, he is the strongest. The Darkness leader's eyes gleamed with a dark light. No life form is his match. However, he's still searching for a stronger path. Hence, this goes against the laws of the primal universe. This is challenging the universe origin laws. Luo Feng listened quietly. Challenging the universe origin laws? Previously, when the Void Demon God came to kill him, chains appeared in the void and bound the Void Demon God because of his explosive strength. It was only when the Void Demon God lowered his strength that the chains disappeared. The laws of the universe cannot be challenged. However, Teacher is after all a powerful being. Naturally, he has to break through and surpass them. He has to go against everything, time and time again. Hence he incurred the universe origin law's punishment. The darkness leader said confidently. However, Teacher's strength has already reached the pinnacle of the strongest warriors in the universe. Even when the universe origin laws raged and tried to punish him time and time again, it couldn't stop Teacher's progress. Luo Feng was shocked. He could imagine the universe origin laws punishing him time and time again. Finally, Teacher and the universe origin laws engaged in a battle. The darkness leader's eyes were filled with worship and respect. The result was, Teacher was eternally suppressed by the universe origin laws. Suppressed. Luo Feng held his breath. My God. There was actually a universe strongest warrior that dared to battle the universe origin laws. It was too crazy. However, the result was tragic. He was eternally suppressed. However, even after he was suppressed, the darkness leader's voice was loud. Teacher continued to unleash the virtual universe technique, causing the virtual universe to cover the entire universe. Only the strongest of the other universe and the universe origin laws, who are able to control the laws, can slightly obstruct him. Luo Feng nodded. The area controlled by the star ancestor was unable to connect to the virtual universe. This was the will of the star ancestor. Even the primal stars were unable to connect to the virtual universe. This was because of the universe origin laws. A technique that goes against the heavens, covering the entire universe. The darkness leader looked at Luo Feng. Have you heard of such a powerful technique? Teacher even has a universe lord slave, the automaton universe lord. Teacher made that universe lord the automaton universe lord the entire virtual universe's AI core. The darkness leader said. You should know that the virtual universe has to deal with countless programs every day. It's extremely complicated. Even the strongest universe lord can't take it and crumble. And the automaton universe lord was originally a living AI. After becoming the universe lord, he became even stronger in this aspect. Naturally, he can maintain all of this. Usually, everything is handled by the universe lord. Teacher won't even check on our movement. To see Teacher and let him know, the only way is to go to the virtual universe origin laws. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The ancestor is eternally suppressed by the universe origin laws. Is there a way to get out? P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1157. Even though he only had some knowledge of this legendary being today, it didn't stop Luo Feng from worshipping him. From Luo Feng's point of view, to have a universe lord slave, to build the virtual universe, to stand at the pinnacle, to fight with the universe origin laws, to finally be suppressed forever, all these made him feel respect from within. Such a leader of the human race, if he could once again appear in the universe, it would be an unparalleled event for the human race. Is there a way? Luo Feng looked at the universe lords. The darkness lord was silent. The primal chaos city leader sighed, no. The creator of the huge axe has thought of it before, but there's no way. The dragon leader said forcefully, the ancestor's servant, which is the virtual universe AI core, told us too that he couldn't find a way. Luo Feng sighed within and nodded. After all, he was suppressed by the universe origin laws forever. Who could save him? Luo Feng and the others had just returned to Thunder Island. Within moments, they received a mail from the creator of the huge axe, inviting them to attend the highest-level meeting of the human race. There are two types of human highest-level meetings. The primal Chaos City leader smiled. The first is a large-scale meeting, where all the universe lords, the strongest of the universe all attend. This kind of large-scale highest-level conference was usually a big matter or a big matter that affected the interests of the universe's venerables. and other important matters that affect the race are usually discussed internally by the highest level. This highest level meeting is attended by the Universe Lords, the strongest of the universe. As it's convened by the creator of the Huge Axe, it's also called the Huge Axe Meeting. Huge Axe Meeting? Luo Feng nodded. Actually, the previous highest level meeting, with large amounts of the Universe Lords attending, was just to listen to the Universe Lords' message. The true decision-makers were still the Universe Lords, the strongest of the universe. Hence, this Huge Axe Meeting was the true soul. It decided all sorts of matters within the race. Your authority has risen, you can teleport directly to the Huge Axe Shrine. The Primal Chaos City leader said. The Huge Axe Meeting is held right before the shrine. Luo Feng checked and realized, however, there were more teleportation points. Let's go. The Primal Chaos City leader said. Immediately, the 6 Universe Lords of the virtual universe disappeared from Thunderbolt Island. Their faction was obviously the one giving the orders was the Primal Chaos City Lord. In the endless darkness, there were stars in the distance. A simple temple floated in the air. There was a long stone table in front of the temple. There was only a single stone chair on the main seat of the long stone table, and there were rows of stone chairs on both sides. At this moment, there were already towering figures sitting on these stone chairs. Haha, Huang Jian, last time none of you were willing to return Earth to Luo Feng. Finally it was Huge Axe who said that the day Luo Feng sits with us would be the day we return the rights to Earth to him. How long has it been? Luo Feng already has the right to sit with us. Didn't you object at the time? I don't have a family and I don't have any ties. Naturally, I don't support or oppose it. Actually, looking at it now, agreeing to Luo Feng's request back then was a good thing. He used the Qi Mirror Stone to exchange for half of Earth's ownership. What about now? Right now, Luo Feng is on the same level as us. According to what Huge Axe said back then, the rights to Earth would be returned to Luo Feng. We wouldn't even be able to get the Qi Mirror Stone. Humph. The Masters of the Universe conversed. They were divided into several factions, and it was natural for them to tease each other. Hua, hua, hua. 6 silhouettes appeared at the same time. It was the Primal Chaos City leader and the 6 warriors from the virtual universe. Primal Chaos. Primal Chaos, you're here. Primal Chaos. The Universe Lords that had arrived first all greeted him as the Primal Chaos City leader. After all, within the human race, in terms of position, it was undoubtedly the creator of Huge Axe and the eternally suppressed ancestor of the universe. Other than these two, the Primal Chaos City leader, who had guarded the primal universe, was right behind them. Naturally, he was respected. Darkness, you're here too? It's rare to see you here. I didn't expect Darkness to come too. It's been so many meetings and Darkness hasn't appeared. The Universe Lords conversed. Simultaneously, the Primal Chaos City leader and the other 5 sat down too. The 6 Universe Lords of the virtual universe all sat in a row, with the Primal Chaos City leader sitting closest to the main seat, followed by the Dragon leader, Darkness leader, Ice Peak leader, Nether Marquee leader and Milky Way leader. Luo Feng sat down and observed the other Universe Lords. At the same time he said humbly, "It's luck. I've been training in a place like the Time Room for a long time before I managed to reach this level. I also created that move by chance. Haha, if the 3 great alliances want to kill me, of course I won't hold back." While saying that, Luo Feng observed carefully, after all these were the highest echelons of humanity. He had only read about them from the information before, he had never seen them in person. The Huge Axe Dojo is led by the creator of Huge Axe. Normally it's led by the Void Gold Lord. He was the temporary teacher of my big brother Hong back then, and he even created the Sky Ruins tablet. Luo Feng looked over. The Void Gold Lord was a majestic man with glaring golden long hair and a smile on his face. His eyebrows were long and hung down to his chest. In terms of bearing, he was very similar to the Primal Chaos City leader. The Universe Mercenary Alliance is led by the Desolate Mirror leader. Luo Feng looked carefully. The Desolate Mirror owner looked very savage. His entire body was covered in complex scales, and he had 3 horns on his head. At first glance, he looked like a human-shaped beast, and his aura was equally tyrannical. This Desolate Mirror owner sat there and examined Luo Feng multiple times. He was one of the top 3 out of all the Universe Lords present when he examined Luo Feng. The Universe First Bank is led by Green East leader. The Green East Lord was clad in cyan armor and a cyan cloak. The complicated mysterious patterns on the cloak formed a beautiful picture of a strange beast. However, the picture of the strange beast did not belong to any of the 8 major beast deities. The Universe Galaxy Bank is led by Peng Worker Leader. Luo Feng glanced at Peng Worker Leader. Peng Worker Leader was the one who looked at Luo Feng the most out of all the Universe Lords present. He was very fat, bald and had a long beard hanging down. His aura was probably the weakest of the Universe Lords present. And the Universe Galaxy Bank he led only had a total of 2 Universe Lords. It was the least. However, according to Luo Feng's information, Peng Worker Leader's strength was at the top of the human race. Even the Void Gold Lord couldn't compare to him. He was completely comparable to the Primal Chaos City leader. The human race is really strong. Luo Feng exclaimed within. There are many at the pinnacle of the Universe Lord level, there are even a few at the very top. In terms of quality, they are considered extremely high in the vast universe. According to Luo Feng's current understanding, the Universe Lord's strength could be divided into beginner, normal, pinnacle and pinnacle. Beginner referred to those who had just stepped into the Universe Lord level. Their life genetic level was 100 times, yet they still hadn't had the time to create their ultimate technique. Usually these types of Universe Lords rarely appeared. They would hide and focus on improving themselves. Normal referred to those who spent some resources to raise their life genetic level to a level that was hard to raise, like 1,000 times their life genetic level, creating their ultimate techniques and acquiring decent treasures. Pinnacle, or acquiring heavenly treasures, or creating their strongest techniques, or reaching 10,000 times their life genetic level. If one satisfied one, the other 2 had to be close, and that was more or less the pinnacle. Pinnacle was the Star River Lord, Primal Chaos City leader and Darkness leader. Their life levels, treasures and techniques all reached extremely high levels. Only then could they be considered the pinnacle. The human race is split into 5 branches. From what I see now, the virtual universe is the strongest. Especially the 3 disciples taught by the Ancestor, Teacher, Darkness Lord and Ice Peak Leader, all of them are at the pinnacle. Luo Feng exclaimed within, the disciples taught by the Ancestor were indeed powerful, the quality of the other 4 branches were slightly lacking. Actually, even the creator of the huge axe was taught by the Ancestor. As Luo Feng sat there calculating the strength of the human race, sighing at the bottom, the creator of the huge axe was the last to appear. Hua! With his hair draped over his shoulders, a huge savage appeared in the main seat. Immediately the Universe Lords went silent, their expressions respectful. Only Luo Feng's expression was respectful, yet he couldn't hide his shock. The huge savage nodded at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, this is the first time we've met. Creator of the huge axe. Luo Feng replied respectfully, simultaneously glancing at the creator. The more he looked at the huge savage, the more he felt he was similar to his good friend Rong Jun from back then. Even though Rong Jun's aura was far from this creator's, he still had a similar aura. Similar boldness, even looks and aura. Just like how Chinese people and Europeans have different temperaments, the creator of the giant axe and savage Rong Jun obviously have the same temperament, and in terms of appearance, etc. Just like how Luo Feng's first impression was, they were from the same race. Back when Rong Jun appeared in Primal Chaos City, his performance wasn't that outstanding. Back then we were just a bunch of punks from the genius battles. Many of the knights didn't even notice. Just like me, where would I find the time to pay attention to such punks? Back then even Bolin wasn't taken in as a disciple by a universe country leader. Rong Jun was the first to be taken in as a disciple. Luo Feng thought. Rong Jun, when he was taken in as a disciple by a universe country leader, he even incurred the jealousy and unwillingness of the other genius battle members. Luo Feng gritted his teeth back then, determined that even with the guidance of a universe country leader, he would still surpass Rong Jun. Even after his performance was exceptional, even the leader of the Tianshi Palace made a bet that Luo Feng still couldn't compare to Rong Jun. Why do they favor Rong Jun so much? Looks like it's very likely that it's the huge axe creator's bloodline. Luo Feng muttered. How many warriors are there in the huge axe creator's bloodline? Luo Feng's mind swiftly recalled large amounts of information about the knights, however they were all dressed in armor and boots. Unlike Rong Jun's savage form back then, there seems to be 4 or 5 with that aura. Luo Feng carefully recalled. He was somewhat sure. After all, he had only been a warrior for a short period of time. He was only friends with Yun Zhou Knight and a few others. The other knights were only nodding acquaintances. P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1158. As Luo Feng was pondering about the relationship between Rong Jun and the Creator looked around at the Universe Lords and laughed. It's been a long time since our human race has seen such a scene. Haha, all the Universe Lords have gathered together. The 19 Universe Lords sitting at the sides of the table all smiled. Today, we've all gathered here to welcome Luo Feng as one of us. The Creator looked at Luo Feng. From today onwards, our human race has one more Universe Lord. Luo Feng has the talent to create clones, and his survivability is ranked in the top 10 of the universe. This is also humanity's fortune. Hua. The Universe Lords all looked at Luo Feng, some even discussing privately. Obviously the Creator's words about being ranked in the top 10 in survivability shocked them. Looks like the Creator of the huge axe knows about my ocean clone. Luo Feng's gaze swept across and thought, and the other Universe Lords of the other factions probably don't know about it yet. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so shocked. According to the rules of my human race, the Creator of the huge axe smiled. Every single one that becomes a Universe Lord will receive a top-level weapon from the race. This valuable treasure, Luo Feng, do you have any requests? Luo Feng heard and couldn't help but exclaim within. This was the difference between the pinnacle races and the smaller powers. Even the Northern Border Alliance, even though it was one of the 9 great Leviathans, there were too many races and too many strong warriors. Unless they invited a very powerful Universe Lord and prepared a huge gift, normally when a knight broke through to Universe Lord, the gift they received was very little. It still depended on the individual's hard work. Luo Feng, speak. The Creator looked at Luo Feng. The many Universe Lords all looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng turned to look at the Creator of the huge axe in the main seat, smiling. I don't ask for any other treasures. I just hope that the race can transform my territory, the Milky Way galaxy. I'm prepared to stay there forever. Forever in my home, hence I hope that it can be built more stable. Forever in Milky Way galaxy? The Primal Chaos City leader and Dark Lord were all shocked. Normally Universe Lords would stay in the Primal region or other secret regions. It was very rare for a Universe Lord to be stationed in a galaxy. However, the Primal Chaos City leader and the others didn't say anything to stop him. Because when Luo Feng gave himself the title of Milky Way leader, the Primal Chaos City leader and the others understood how much Luo Feng valued his home. This Luo Feng will stay in the Milky Way galaxy forever? The other masters of the universe were also secretly astonished. However, since the virtual universe lineage didn't say anything, they could only suppress their suspicions. Since you have a request, I will naturally agree. The Creator of the giant axe nodded. The Milky Way is just a galaxy with a very small area. Even if we use a top-grade treasure to stabilize and build it, there would still be some left over to create the most stable galaxy. This is enough, Luo Feng said. The great construction of the Milky Way, using a place where the Lord of the Universe was stationed, required a huge price. Even if it was not as valuable as a top-grade treasure, it was not much different. And Luo Feng had quite a few treasures on him. Normal treasures were nothing to him. I remember the last time Luo Feng wanted to return to his home Earth. The huge axe creator continued. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The other universe lords immediately went silent too, all looking at the creator. Since Luo Feng has already become a universe lord and is sitting with us, then, the other rights of Earth will be returned to him. Naturally, Earth will be completely under his control. The creator said. Huge axe. The three-horned scaled giant suddenly said, Us universe lords need to contribute, we need to carry the entire race. Other than the one and only gift after becoming a universe lord, we need to pay for it at all times. To get powerful treasures, we need to give them up to get treasure points, only then can we exchange for them. One theory, since the free gift has already been given, the Milky Way leader can't get anything else for free. Half of Earth belongs to the race. Since the Milky Way leader wants it, he has to pay something of equal value. To get Earth, he has to pay something of equal value. Another universe lord said. Luo Feng looked at the three-horned scaled giant, that was the desolate mirror owner. The desolate mirror owner nodded at Luo Feng. Desolate mirror. The primal Chaos City leader said, This half of Earth was originally signed by the Virtual Universe Company with Luo Feng, the other half is under the company's name. Even though your large sects all have descendants on Earth, back then the 50 billion mixed elements were given by the Virtual Universe Company, the other half was under our hands too. It wasn't shared by the entire race. Right now, returning half of Earth to Luo Feng is naturally possible. The Virtual Universe Company is also a part of the human race. The desolate mirror owner said, The Virtual Universe Company's huge fortune, how can it be given away so easily? You have to pay before you get, this is the law. Haha, back then, my Virtual Universe Company bought it for 50 billion mixed elements, Luo Feng. Spend another 50 billion to buy back half of Earth from the Virtual Universe Company. The primal Chaos City leader said. Yes, teacher, your disciple is willing to pay this 50 billion. Luo Feng said. 50 billion mixed elements? What a joke. Any random treasure would far exceed this value. To the universe lords, 50 billion mixed elements was like a drop of ocean, and Earth was an endless ocean. How could its value compare? We all know the value of Earth. The desolate mirror owner creased his eyebrows. Using 50 billion to buy it, isn't that equivalent to giving it away? Don't even mention the 50 billion back then. Back then, I wasn't clear of Earth's power, and also, Luo Feng was very weak back then, 50 billion was already enough for him. Ah, desolate mirror, you want to interfere with the Virtual Universe Company's trade? The primal Chaos City leader said, Are you the person in charge of the Virtual Universe Company, or am I? I'm not interfering with the trade, it's just that everything has its own rules. If it were your personal items, I wouldn't care how you want to give it away. However, this is the property of the Virtual Universe Company, and the Virtual Universe Company belongs to the ancestors. How can the treasures of the Virtual Universe Company be given away so easily? The desolate mirror owner said. The primal Chaos City leader and the desolate mirror owner were arguing. One of them was the person in charge of the Virtual Universe Company. The other was the creator of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. The two were the pinnacle existences amongst the universe lords. Their positions in their races were very close. As for the other two factions, Qing Dong Master and Ping Gong Master, they watched silently. After all, Earth had its own benefits too. Alright. The creator of the huge axe spoke. The desolate mirror owner and the primal chaos city leader looked at the creator. I've said it before. The creator creased his eyebrows. The moment Luo Feng is able to sit with us, that's when the ownership of Earth returns to him. The promise I made, naturally I'll keep it. Since half of Earth belongs to the Virtual Universe Company, I'll transfer an absolute treasure to the Virtual Universe Company to make up for this loss. Huge axe! Huge axe! The desolate mirror owner and the others immediately spoke. How could they let the creator of the huge axe give up his treasure? Creator of the huge axe! Luo Feng couldn't help but shout. This matter ends here. The creator's gaze swept across. Immediately the universe lords all quietened down. The main purpose of this meeting was to welcome Luo Feng, after which they discussed about the primal star and universe C, after which the meeting was dismissed. The universe lords of the virtual universe sect dispersed too. Only Luo Feng was called over by the primal chaos city leader. Teacher, this matter, how did it end up as the creator of the huge axe transferring the absolute treasure to the Virtual Universe Company? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. He too felt that he owed the creator of the huge axe for this matter. Don't think too much about it. The primal chaos city leader shook his head. The creator of the huge axe is the strongest in the human universe, and also the one with the most treasures. Even during normal times, he wouldn't ask for anything and would just give it to the race. Like the many treasures that can be exchanged for within the race, they were all given to the race by the creator of the huge axe. Transferring one to the Virtual Universe Company now isn't a big deal. After this matter is over, I'll just give it to the race. Luo Feng nodded within. Sighing, it wasn't easy to support an entire race. Weaklings would be at a disadvantage if they traveled alone, but the strongest experts in the universe who traveled alone were very carefree. Their strength stood at the top of the pyramid of the universe, and they could obtain many treasures. But if they were alone, they would only need a few treasures, and the rest were generally useless. Hence they were carefree. However, if they had something to worry about, one would have to be careful and cautious, two would have to constantly contribute to the race and nurture the next generation. I understand. Luo Feng nodded and sighed within. This favor from the creator of the huge axe, he would have to work hard to repay it in the future. Even if the desolate mirror leader and the others obstruct you, don't hate them for it. The primal chaos city leader said, everything is about benefits. Look at why the other universe lords don't speak up, because this involves the benefits of the other four clans. The desolate mirror leader speaking up is actually speaking up for them. There are many rules in the universe, almost all of them are about benefits. Whether it's individual benefits, faction benefits, or the race benefits. Luo Feng nodded. Right. The primal chaos city leader looked at Luo Feng. You really intend to stay in the Milky Way galaxy forever? Right. Luo Feng nodded. Stay in the Milky Way galaxy forever. Humanity's universe lords, they usually stay in the important areas of our human territories. Firstly, our race's knights, undyings and geniuses etc. gather there. They require absolute warriors to protect them. Secondly, in the important areas, there are usually many universe lords. This way, the moment they meet with a huge crisis, they can help each other, and it'll be easier to overcome the threat. And you alone in the Milky Way galaxy, if you suddenly meet with trouble from the other races, even if the other warriors of the race rush over, it'll take some time. Of course there are universe lords who guard their homes, but most of them only leave a body there. You won't change your mind, the primal chaos city leader said. Luo Feng smiled, very relaxed. I won't change my mind, I'll stay in the Milky Way galaxy forever, forever guarding my home. Over the long years, struggling time and time again, life and death battles, what was it for? It was to one day stand at the pinnacle of the universe and protect his home. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1159. Rumble, the vast divine kingdom was filled with volcanoes that spewed blazing magma. This was a kingdom of magma. Volcanoes were erupting almost every second. And in the center of the entire god country, surrounded by endless flames, there was a majestic shrine. In front of the shrine was a statue of Mo Luo. Shwa, a silhouette appeared in mid-air in front of the shrine. It was Mo Luo. Mo Luo was one of the geniuses of the Virtual Universe Company. 30,000 years ago, he broke through to the undying level. Even though he was only an official, he was at the pinnacle of official level. His title was Mad Beast Official. Back when he was defeated by Luo Feng, he gritted his teeth and wanted to surpass Luo Feng. Unexpectedly, not only did he not catch up to Luo Feng, even Bolin and Rongjun surpassed him. Now, Bolin and Rongjun were Emperor-level Undyings, while Mo Luo was an official-level Undying. Even though he was weaker than Bolin and Rongjun, his talent was undeniable. He was accepted as a disciple by the South Fox Emperor. Someone's coming. Mo Luo stood in mid-air and his expression changed. This was his god country. How could others enter his god country? Rumble, 3 majestic silhouettes appeared in a corner of the endless volcano god country. Following that, they teleported and appeared in front of Mo Luo. Mo Luo looked at the 3 before him and immediately heaved a sigh of relief. He revealed a look of joy and respectfully stepped forward. Disciple greets teacher. The South Fox Emperor looked at Mo Luo with a look of pity. Ganwu Bei Ming. The South Fox Emperor looked at the 2 Universe Knights beside him and nodded. The Ganwu Emperor looked coldly at Mo Luo and shouted, Mo Luo, do you know your crime? Crime? Mo Luo was so shocked that his heart trembled. He could not help but look at his teacher, the South Fox Monarch. The South Fox Monarch had a look of pity and sorrow on his face. This made Mo Luo immediately feel that something was amiss. He quickly said, I, Mo Luo, have always followed the rules. I have never done anything improper. May I know what crime I have committed? The Universe Knight, who was dressed in a snow-white robe and emitted a cold aura, sneered, South Fox, your disciple still dares to quibble. I'm not quibbling. Mo Luo said anxiously. I'm guilty. Please show me the evidence so I can accept it. Teacher. At the same time, he looked at his teacher anxiously. You still don't know your sins? The monarch of the South Fox Nation shook his head. The Milky Way Overlord has ordered that if you admit to your crimes immediately, you will be sent to the First Starfield's prison for 10,000 eras. If you don't admit it, you'll be sentenced to death. Mo Luo's body trembled. His expression changed drastically. Death penalty? I've sinned. I've sinned. Mo Luo hurriedly said, Master, I've sinned. 2 universe supremacies, Mo Luo is guilty. What crime? Lord North Stemborer asked coldly. The Ganwu country king also looked at Mo Luo coldly. What crime? I don't know either. Mo Luo's face was full of panic, but his mind was rapidly thinking, and his consciousness was operating at an unprecedented speed. He was born as an orphan and had gone through numerous deadly tribulations. He had long since formed his way of dealing with the world through countless tribulations. Those who posed a threat to his growth would be eradicated, and when he destroyed them, he didn't even leave a single trace. Now that the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company had come to question him, many things flashed through his mind. He had done many cruel and merciless things. Logically speaking, everything he did should have been watertight. Even though there were a few who knew, none of them had any evidence. Milky Way leader's orders. Who is this Milky Way leader? Milky Way, Milky Way? A name immediately appeared in Mo Luo's mind. Luo Feng. Luo Feng's home is Milky Way Earth. Don't tell me the Milky Way leader is him? Even though Mo Luo was an Undying, he was so scared his forehead was filled with sweat. Actually, he had always been paying attention to Luo Feng's growth, especially when he heard that Luo Feng had entered the Primal Chaos City leader's tutelage. He was even more terrified. He thought that the moment Luo Feng complained to the city leader, he, Mo Luo, would be done for. However, Mo Luo had investigated carefully. He knew that the city leader was famous for his fairness. Without evidence, he probably won't touch me. Mo Luo was afraid back then, but after so long, Luo Feng never found trouble with him. He didn't panic either. As for Luo Feng's accomplishments on Primal Star, one had to know. Normal Undyings didn't have the right to know about Primal Star. Luo Feng's name had spread throughout the universe. Even the trillions of races, universe lords and knights, along with a few extremely powerful invincible emperors that were highly regarded by their races, Mo Luo indeed didn't know about it at all. He didn't know about Luo Feng's hunting on Primal Star, much less about Luo Feng killing over 6,000 knights in one move. Is it Luo Feng who wants to kill me? Mo Luo looked up at the three knights. North Borer and the Ganwu country leader were cold. The South Fox Emperor even shook his head. It's really him. Mo Luo looked anxiously at the South Fox Emperor. Teacher, don't tell me even you don't believe me? I really didn't. It's just that back then when Luo Feng and I were exploring Demon Note Mountain, due to a dispute over treasures, I had a grudge with him. I didn't expect that after so many years, he would still bear a grudge. Teacher, you have to uphold justice for me, otherwise your disciple won't be satisfied. Still quibbling. The North Borer Emperor sneered. Interesting. The Ganwu country leader shook his head too. There's no difference whether you admit it or not. The South Fox Emperor sighed. Mo Luo, I knew you were decisive, but I didn't expect you to be this vicious. Teacher, your disciple is innocent. Mo Luo said anxiously. He didn't dare admit it. Admitting it meant death. He had to fight for a chance of survival. Teacher. Mo Luo clenched his teeth as tears flowed out. Your disciple is innocent. Even if Luo Feng broke through to the universe realm, it's hard to say what a person's personality is. How can you judge your disciple based on his words? Your disciple has no other choice but to die to prove his innocence. Wang, a powerful god energy suppressed and restrained every bit of Mo Luo's god energy. Under the Ganwu country leader's forceful suppression, Mo Luo couldn't even self-destruct. Mo Luo couldn't help but look at the Ganwu country leader in shock and anger. Senior Ganwu country leader, you. Mo Luo knew that there was the concept of reviving through spacetime. As long as he acted a little more agitated and used his death to prove himself, he would definitely be revived in the future. But he didn't expect the Ganwu country leader to not give him a chance to self-destruct. Don't self-destruct. The Ganwu country leader said coldly, We are here under the order of the Milky Way Lord to punish you. Since you didn't admit it immediately, I shall sentence you to death. Mo Luo's eyes instantly burned with complicated colors, unwillingness and madness. Under the order of the Milky Way Lord? Who exactly is the Milky Way Lord? Mo Luo said hoarsely. It's the Lord Luo Feng you mentioned. The North Borer said. Luo Feng? That's impossible. He's at most just stepped into the universe night level. How long has he been training for? A little over 100,000 years. No matter how powerful he is, he should at most be a universe knight. How can he order you all? Mo Luo shook his head in disbelief. I know I have to die. However, I want to know just who made me die. The Ganwu country leader looked coldly at Mo Luo. It's Lord Luo Feng. Lord Luo Feng has already become the Universe Lord, the pinnacle of humanity's existence. Universe Lord? Mo Luo stared wide-eyed. Luo Feng? Universe Lord? Back then, the Luo Feng he kicked into the abyss had become the Universe Lord? The Milky Way Lord is the Universe Lord. With such a position, why would he malign you? His one word is more effective than any evidence. The Ganwu country leader said, You are ruthless enough. You actually went against the Virtual Universe Company's orders. I can't accept it. I can't accept it. Mo Luo roared. I don't believe it. I don't believe Luo Feng has become the universe lord. Impossible. Pung. Like the earth collapsing, Mo Luo's body crumbled inch by inch, before turning to dust and vanishing. Immediately, the god country that was originally brimming with life and vitality, the volcanoes that erupted seemed to have lost its life force. The volcanoes that were erupting also suddenly dimmed. With the last two eruptions, the rest of the volcanoes in the god country all quietened down. The temperature of the god country too began to drop. This god country would continue to wither as time passed. If Mo Luo could reverse time and space and be revived, with the god energy, the god country could be revived once more. It was a pity. Mo Luo would never be revived. Let's go. The Ganwu country leader, North Borer and South Fox country leader, the three of them immediately teleported away from the withered god country. While Mo Luo was being executed in the distant Milky Way galaxy, Earth. They want us all to migrate? Who gave the order? I sold one of my galaxies and obtained a slot to live on Earth for 1,000 years. They want me to leave just like that? Who will compensate me for my losses? Impossible. They actually dare to chase us away. I'll report this to my family. I'll make you all regret it. In front of the cold law enforcers, the aliens in the floating cities above Earth's oceans roared. One had to know that ever since Earth's might was discovered, the right to live on Earth had become incredibly expensive. Only those with power and authority from the 5 big sects could enter, and they were all here to let the younger generation have children. The moment the children were born, they would immediately leave Earth, not wasting any time at all. They were considered powerful family members in the entire human domain. After paying such a huge price to come to Earth, they were now being chased away? The Virtual Universe Company, Battleaxe Dojo, Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank have all given their orders. Within 3 days, leave Earth immediately. Those who disobey die. In front of a master of the universe, what were the descendants of those influential clans? They could only leave unwillingly. After the law enforcers chased away all the aliens, the shrine that was originally guarding the solar system space finally vanished, leaving directly. From today onwards, this was where the Milky Way leader would reside. And the entire Milky Way galaxy began a mad construction. Earth. A black-haired youth stood in the solar system space, looking at the blue planet from afar, smiling. With a step, he entered Earth's atmosphere and flew downwards. P.S. Update complete. I've been tormented by my back pain for so long to finally finish the update, sweating. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1160. Earth after 100,000 years, what would it be like? The grass was long and the birds were flying, the greenery was dotted with unique residential buildings, birds could often be seen flying in the sky was azure blue, the air was fresh. If it was according to the human domain's standards, Earth was definitely the pinnacle of SSS-grade life planet. Nature and technology forming a perfect harmony. Many men and women dressed in training clothes or casual clothes walked on the street. There were no cars or other forms of transportation in the city. The underground tunnels that connected the cities of Earth moved at 30,000 kilometers per hour, allowing people to easily reach any city on Earth. Of course, to be able to allow a few continents to pass through the ocean floor and form a tunnel, that was also Luo Feng's authority. Earth is completely different. Luo Feng exclaimed. It'll be even more different in the future. Su Xian smiled. The husband and wife pair walked on the streets, just like a normal couple. Others couldn't even tell the difference. In truth, even if they saw Luo Feng before, in a blink of an eye, their memories of him would immediately vanish. They wouldn't be able to remember him at all. Luo Feng carefully observed everything. Even though he had ordered the ocean clone to stand guard on Earth earlier, The ocean clone had only quietly sat crossed-legged within the Luo family's meditation room, only appearing when there was an important situation. Other than the 2 times Luo Feng went to accompany his family, the ocean clone didn't do anything else. Su Xian, I've discovered that we often see star travelers on the streets. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, are star travelers so common? Over 100,000 years, Earth shouldn't have developed to the point where most of them are star travelers. Su Xian shook her head. It's like this, Earth's secrets are the upper echelon's secret, even though it hasn't been made public. However, the Virtual Universe Company, Battleaxe Dojo, Universe Mercenary Alliance, and the other 5 big powers all think of ways to enter Earth. You should be able to guess how popular Earth's right to live is. Luo Feng nodded. Before, Earth's oceans belonged to the aliens, and the land belonged to us. Su Xian said, over 100,000 years of development, Earth's people have long spread throughout the Ganwu universe country, and even the other universe countries, their numbers are incomparably large. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. In the past, Earth's population couldn't break through because of the land restrictions. Without the land restrictions, with large amounts of food, the rapid growth of Earth's population is very normal. Su Xian said, that's right. The population of Earth has already reached an incomparably large level. Let's not talk about other things, just the population of my Luo family is already frightening. Luo Feng nodded. The population of the Luo family had long surpassed that of a star field. One had to know that if one continued to develop, it was normal for the population to increase by over 100 million times in 5,000 years. 100,000 years of development, how ridiculous would the population be? Even with the Luo family's power and influence, they were currently restricted by their territory, causing many of their disciples to be scattered across many planets and even other universe countries. If the Luo family alone was like this, then what about the entire Earth? Earth's management, even with the help of the virtual universe, was unable to record the identity of every Earthling. After all, in the vast universe, space accidents, people who were captured and sent to some mineral planets to become slaves. In the face of such a huge population, even the Earth's Management Association was unable to take care of everything. There are too many people. Right now, we are trying to identify the Earthlings. First, identity registration. More than 99% of them were recorded. The second was genetic identification. The genes of Earthlings are unique, and they are very different from the other races in the human race. Su Xian said, on Earth, only Earthlings can live on land. If it's another race, no matter how powerful or wealthy they are forbidden to live there. As time passed, because of Earth's residency rights, and some of the Earth's residents wanted to live a luxurious life. Hence, they sold their residency rights and left for other planet. Maybe they could become the leader of a planet, etc. Su Xian said, as the residency rights on Earth can only be traded between Earthlings, hence the prices aren't as exaggerated as the aliens, but it's still extremely high. To become the leader of a planet, to live a luxurious life, or to become a strong warrior and purchase large amounts of resources. Anyway, the residency rights on Earth are constantly traded, and the elites with status and power are constantly entering Earth. Changing from generation to generation. To be able to enter Earth, they are all incomparably outstanding in the universe, either building business empires or powerful fighters and spirit readers. Hence, on Earth, over half of the elites of the trillions of citizens of Earth have gathered. Su Xian smiled. Hence on Earth, star travelers are very common. Even star levels and universe levels are commonly seen, and there are a few undyings living on Earth. Luo Feng sighed and nodded. Undyings, yes, the chances of Earth's people becoming strong under sufficient nurturing were indeed very high. Right now, there were a total of 11 undyings on Earth, including Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God, and 5 of them were living on Earth. There were even quite a few sector lords. It was because of Earth's power that made the universe lords of the 5 great sects of humanity value Earth so much. The residency rights on Earth, can they be traded so freely? Luo Feng asked. It can only be traded between Earthlings, and the free trade is the best choice. Su Xian shook her head. One is willing to buy, one is willing to sell. How can we stop it? This way, our sacred land Earth's position will continue to rise. After all, over half of the elites of Earth are gathered here. But those with high statuses and powers all want their descendants to be strong, even if they are used to living on other planets. For the sake of their descendants, they will still buy residency rights on Earth, sending 2 or 3 family members to live here. You can say that Earth gathers over 50% of the elites of Earth, and the top 1 million elites, 99% have residency rights on Earth. Luo Feng nodded. This was good too. As time passed, the position of Earth's sacred land Earth would get higher and higher. After all, Earth had only developed for over 100,000 years after entering the universe. The number of warriors, the power of the trading companies etc. weren't that heaven-defying. As time passed, the elites would gradually reveal themselves. One had to know, according to the calculations of the upper echelons of humanity, just the development of Earth alone would be comparable to at least 1/10 of humanity. How many undyings would that require? How many nights? Obviously the potential of Earth had only just begun to emerge. It hadn't fully exploded yet. This eruption required sufficient time. Right now the biggest problem is that our elite disciples of Earth are unable to receive the best nurturing. Su Xian said, according to the data we got from the aliens, the moment the wife gets pregnant, the moment she enters Earth within 3 months of pregnancy, the baby will grow and be influenced by Earth, causing changes. She has to reach Earth within 3 months of pregnancy, any later and the effects will be much worse. Our Earth Management Group manages large amounts of Earth youths, carefully nurturing them, absorbing the elites and nurturing them. We have wealth. However, nurturing them requires a lot of resources like good teachers, training environments etc. Just our Luo family alone can't do that. Su Xian said, what our Luo family does can't even compare to the Ganwu Universe country's nurturing system. This has also affected the rise of the Earth people to a certain extent. Luo Feng nodded, pondering for a while. I'll quickly arrange it, Luo Feng said. Nurturing was very important. Like Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God, if they hadn't stepped out of Earth and entered the universe, if Luo Feng hadn't acquired the Yun Mo Planet Master's treasures and Babada's pointers. Naturally they would have been sacrificed gloriously if they met the golden horned beast. Their accomplishments would obviously have been greatly limited, even their chances of reaching universe level would be very low. However, the moment they were nurtured, the 3 of them would all shine, immediately becoming completely different. And for the Earth people to rise, obviously the nurturing of the new generation was very important. The other Universe Lords' nurturing systems are already very mature. I'll just borrow from them and use my resources to do it. Luo Feng nodded within. Humanity had many places to nurture their people. It was just that even the knights didn't have the right to arrange for large amounts of members to train there. However, the Universe Lords could. For example, sending them to Blood River World, to other places etc. Of course Luo Feng would have to pay a price for this. However, to Luo Feng, it was a piece of cake. After the great migration of the aliens left Earth, Earth began to be remodeled once more, using the resources of the ocean to harmonize the land and ocean, making the entire natural system of Earth even more perfect. Furthermore, the floating cities built by the aliens were also modified to make them more suitable for Earthlings to live in. Those floating cities were usually hundreds or even thousands of stories high. If 1 or 2 stories were used for living on land, then the floating cities of the aliens were the most efficient use of space. Including the area of the ocean, it was much larger than the land. Even though every floating city was very far from each other, the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Oceans, all the floating cities above the oceans added up, could easily house over 100 billion people. It can house over 100 billion. Then we can allow a large scale of pregnant women to swiftly arrive on Earth, try to reach within 3 months of pregnancy. The Earthlings born on Earth have a higher possibility of nurturing, and the Earthlings born on an alien planet have a terrifyingly low chance of producing a strong warrior. All sorts of plans were swiftly formulated and implemented one by one. The first thing Luo Feng did when he returned to Earth was to use his own energy to perfect the development of Earth. Only by combining his own resources and the race's resources could the development of the Earth people grow even faster. He believed that in the future, it wouldn't be a dream for the Earth people to be stronger than the Flame God race. The Earth people will produce a few Universe Knights and a large group of Undyings. Or even another Universe Lord, that would be even better. Luo Feng anticipated. However, that would require a very long time. P.S. First chapter has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1161. The shadows of a few monsters could be vaguely seen in the dilapidated farmland that was overgrown with weeds, and there were all kinds of broken cars on the cracked highway. Some of the cars were overturned, and the dust on the highway told the story of its history. A figure was walking on this highway. Protected area? Luo Feng walked on the broken highway as he thought back to the distant past. When he was young, he joined the Fire Hammer Squad for the first time in the wilderness. He still remembered Chungu, who used firearms and treated him extremely well back then, that broken arm Zhang Ku. The Wei brothers who used scimitars well. Of course there was also the intrepid dual-wind hammer Captain Gao. Over 100,000 years have passed. Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. Those brothers that he had gone through thick and thin with back then. Luo Feng had always been roaming the universe. He hadn't even seen his family many times. He had only seen these old friends a few times. However, the Luo family had always been secretly helping these old friends, and wouldn't affect their lives. However, time was merciless. Over half of these old friends from back then had already died of old age. Even though the Luo family had endless wealth, they still controlled the resources of their own disciples. Towards the old friends, even though they would help, they wouldn't go as far as to force them to the universe level or domain lord level. Earth still had many protected areas left. These were left behind from the headquarter city era. Some of the monsters were treated as rare animals and protected. These monsters were allowed to survive in the protected areas, as it had been too long. In truth, the cracked highways, overturned cars, old residential buildings, etc. were all refurbished. With new materials, they were able to exist for an extremely long time. The outer appearance was just old. After all, how could the concrete and other materials from back then remain the same for over 100,000 years? And to visit this protected area, one had to sit in a ship from above. It was forbidden to barge in and attack the monsters within. Of course, Luo Feng teleported in, and the person with the highest authority in Earth's defense system was Luo Feng. Naturally, there weren't any obstructions. So, Luo Feng leapt up, directly jumping onto the balcony of a 6-story residential building, sitting down, looking at the bright moon in the sky, listening to the roars of the beasts within the protected area. It feels a little like back then, Luo Feng said softly. HM? Luo Feng frowned. Schwa. Then, he disappeared from the rooftop. Roughly 800 light-years away from Earth, in the starry space, there was a majestic and luxurious palace complex. One could faintly see some powerful guards, sector lord guards and even undying guards, walking along the tens of millions of km-long corridors. The security was very strict. This was Luo Feng's shrine. Within the majestic main hall of the palaces, beside the 12 huge pillars, there were flames burning, and on the throne of the main hall sat a majestic silhouette. It was the 10,000 kilometers tall Luo Feng, looking down at the three silhouettes below. "Greetings, Milky Way Lord." Three figures bowed at the same time. Ganwu, Naizhou, Bei Ming. Luo Feng gazed below, smiling. "It's been hard on you all these days." The three of them had been dealing with some trivial matters according to his instructions and had only returned today. Of course, he had to see these three great heroes. In the future, there would be plenty of places for these three universe supremacies to serve him. "It's our honor to serve the leader." Naizhou looked up, the Ganwu country leader, and Bei Ming looked up at Luo Feng too. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. "From now on, everything here will be managed by the three of you. If there's anything, you can contact me through the virtual universe. If there's anything urgent, you can crush the token I gave you." "Yes." The three universe supremacies bowed. Luo Feng nodded. "Go." The Ganwu country king, Venerable Bei Zhou, and Venerable Bei Bo bowed slightly and left the palace. Luo Feng was 10,000 kilometers tall. Both his hands were placed on the armrests of the throne, looking up at the majestic shrine. This shrine was 10,000 kilometers tall. Even Luo Feng looked at it. He felt as though this majestic shrine was like an endless galaxy. "No wonder the shrines are getting bigger and bigger," Luo Feng said softly. I've been studying the second level of Star Pagoda over the past few days. However, I haven't been able to understand the second level of the Wu Killer Wings, which is easier than the Star Pagoda. During this peaceful time on Earth, I'll focus on training and studying the Wu Killer Wings." Luo Feng immediately vanished. This place was less than 1,000 light-years away from Earth. One teleport and he could reach there. As for the three universe supremacies, many Undying Guards, large amounts of Sector Lord Guards, and large amounts of servants, they were all arranged by the Virtual Universe Company. Under normal circumstances, a Universe Lord would pick a few Universe Supremacies to be his disciples. There were only so many human Universe Lords. Most of them weren't willing to wantonly take in disciples. Hence, the majority of the Universe Supremacies couldn't become a Universe Lord's disciple. The Primal Chaos City leader allowed Luo Feng to take in disciples. However, Luo Feng needed to properly study and train. His law comprehension hadn't reached the Universe Lord level yet. Hence, he didn't accept any. In the end, he only picked 3 Universe Supremacies to help him deal with his affairs. These supremacies that were directly under Luo Feng were equivalent to having Luo Feng as their backer. Having a backer and not having one was completely different. Luo Feng first picked the Ganwu country leader and Naizhou, who were on good terms with him. After which, the Ganwu country leader picked his good friend Bei Ming. Hence, these 3 universe supremacies became Luo Feng's subordinate. With Luo Feng as a backer, at least the Ganwu country leader wouldn't fall into such a difficult situation like back then. "Ganwu, this time you spoke up for me, allowing me to become the leader's subordinate. This favor, Bei Ming, you and I have a friendship of life and death. You've helped me many times, this is nothing." The Ganwu country leader, Naizhou and Bei Ming could be considered to have turned their fortunes around. With a backer, naturally things were different. One had to know that the moment the 3 became Luo Feng's subordinates, they were each given a normal treasure. This was enough to make the other universe supremacies that didn't become the Universe Lord's subordinates jealous and envious. Luo Feng built a fixed pathway that connected his god country to Earth. He could easily return to his god country from Earth, and he could swiftly reach Earth from there. With this fixed pathway, even if there were space ripples or other situations, they wouldn't be able to stop him from reaching Earth. Time passed quietly. In the blink of an eye, 12 years had passed. Haha, killing Wu Yue was harder than I expected. After spending a total of 12 years, I've finally comprehended the second level. Shwa. With a teleportation, Luo Feng immediately teleported from the Luo family mansion on Earth to a silent space a few hundred light-years away. He didn't dare to recklessly test out the power of the Wu Killer Wing's second level on Earth. With his current strength, The moment he unleashed the Wu killer wings slightly, he could cause Earth to crumble and he would regret it. In the silent space, the stars were resplendent. A silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng stood in space, his eyes filled with anticipation. Let me see the second form's power. This four-winged killing Wu Yu was a top-level treasure. Just the first form alone was much stronger than the two-winged killing Wu Yu's second form. Right now, the second form should be even stronger than the two-winged killing Wu Yu's third form. The first form was called chaotic space. Then, what about the second form? Chi. Countless amounts of burning god energy surged into the killing Wu Yu on his back. Following the large amounts of engravings, they swiftly extended outwards, intricately activating the engravings. In an instant, the entire second level of engravings had been activated. Immediately the silver wings began to change. Each feather became even sharper, with golden threads wrapping around it, causing the entire wing to have golden engravings. A powerful and luxurious energy emanated from it. Just this pressure alone made the killing Wu Yu even stronger than normal top-level treasures. Rumble! Vast, the endless space was enveloped in a golden glow, endless and endless. Luo Feng stood stunned in mid-air. After a long while, the killing Wu Yu's second form's power, no matter how strong it wouldn't shock Luo Feng. However, the power it was displaying right now completely shocked Luo Feng. This. Luo Feng looked in all directions. 2 light years away, there's a star-level beast living on that planet. Luo Feng turned and looked in another direction, too. 9 light years away from me, on that planet there's a construction team from the entire Milky Way galaxy. They're currently remodeling the planet. 8 light years away, there's a spaceship flying in the sky. 19. 6 light years away, there's a Sector Lord team from my Undying Shrine patrolling space. Majestically, with Luo Feng as the center, an area of 80 light years was completely enveloped by a formless golden light. This entire area was completely under Luo Feng's control. It was a form of complete control. How can it be? How can it be? The more Luo Feng sensed everything, the more shocked he was. Even if it's a universe lord, he wouldn't be able to control space to such a ridiculous extent. Suppress. With a push from Luo Feng, immediately the space and time within a radius of 80 light-years rose in power, causing the universe ships far in space to slow down and some planets to tremble. Luckily Luo Feng controlled it carefully, otherwise those planets would have been destroyed long ago. Full force suppression. Luo Feng pointed at a distant star. Rumble, that star along with the surrounding 3 large planets and many small planets, under the power that was enough to wipe out a universe night, they immediately vanished, that entire galaxy vanished from space. What a strong power! Luo Feng used his full force suppression on himself, immediately feeling a powerful pressure pressing down. This is even stronger than the Universe Lord's control of space and time. Luo Feng had personally felt the Universe Lord's control of space and time. Hence he could clearly judge that his control of this 80 light-year area was much stronger than the Universe Lord's control of space and time. Of course, it would definitely be weaker than the Universe Lord's control of space and time. In terms of area, in terms of power, both are much stronger than the Universe Lord's control of space and time. My Wu Killer Wings, Luo Feng was extremely excited. The first form is to mess up space and time, the second form is to completely control space and time. And it far surpasses the Universe Lord's control, the area far surpasses mine too. With Luo Feng's control, the vast blurry golden light swiftly shrunk. In the blink of an eye, it shrunk from the 80 light-years around Luo Feng. The area can be big or small. It's extremely powerful. Luo Feng laughed. From today onwards, with this move, I'll naturally control space and time. Who would dare suspect that I'm not the Universe Lord? Haha. The Wu Killer Wing's second form was actually this powerful. It was indeed out of Luo Feng's expectations. However, it made him extremely happy. The Wu Killer Wing's second form, I'll call it. Endless golden light enveloped the silver-armored Luo Feng, he said softly. Golden Country. P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1162. The first form of the Slayer Wu Wings, Chaotic Time and Space. The second form of the Slayer Wu Wings, Golden Country. It was still a support ability, however it made Luo Feng very happy. After all, the biggest difference between him and the Universe Lord was that he didn't have control over time and space. For example, in terms of chasing and killing, he was very weak. Right now, his weakness had been made up for. A radius of 80 light-years. Luo Feng exclaimed, even a top-level domain treasure like the 1,000 Treasure River isn't that ridiculous. The second form is already so strong, I wonder what the third form is. Immediately, Luo Feng's god energy began to search the entire Slayer Wu Wings, covering every part of it. The engravings on the wings appeared incomparably clear in his mind, tens of millions of times clearer than the naked eye. With one look, Luo Feng was immediately disappointed. He understood that this was currently the limit of the Slayer Wu Wings. At least this incomplete Slayer Wu Wings third form was still lacking. Obviously, the Slayer Wu Wings are still lacking parts, at least the engravings themselves are lacking. Without a part of the engravings, no matter how strong I am, I can't activate the third form. Luo Feng sighed within. To activate the third form, one is for my own origin law comprehension and engravings to reach a higher level. 2 is to find the parts of the Slayer Wu Wings and make it even more perfect. Just one fusion and it made the Slayer Wu Wings reach the pinnacle treasure level. Then the fusion, the Slayer Wu Wings are indeed extraordinary. However, I don't know where to find those parts. Luo Feng exclaimed within. He knew this would be very difficult. After all, the Slayer Wu Wings had been in the hands of the Primal Chaos City leader for so long, yet he hadn't found any other parts. This was also related to the Primal Chaos City leader not using them. Luo Feng had used them. Along with the countless warriors gathered on the Primal Star, he coincidentally sensed the Tian Kuan Night. Only then did he know of the other part of the Slayer Wu Wings, the Flowing Light Wings. However, over these years, Luo Feng had been to the Primal Star many times. Without any new senses, to find the next part, the difficulty was obvious. That's weird. The Slayer Wu Wings definitely didn't come out of the Primal Star. If it did, the Primal Star would clearly indicate the treasure's level, and split it into many parts. Although everyone had only received parts, they all understood how precious they were. However, Tian Tai the Knight and Teacher, just the wing alone, they couldn't even tell that it was an incredible treasure. Back when Teacher gave it to me, he even said that other than him, no one else in the universe had seen it before. Luo Feng thought. I'll have to ask Teacher when I get back, where exactly did he find it? Luo Feng had already made his decision. He had to find the other parts of Wu Killer's wings. The second form was already so heaven-defying. The power of the third form. Luo Feng was naturally filled with anticipation. Time to go back. Schwa. Luo Feng had already vanished from this part of space. The space was still silent, the only thing missing was a distant star system. The lifespan of an expert was eternal and long. During this long period of time there was a long period of peace. However, this peace was also for the sake of an even crazier battle in the future. Perhaps it was for the clan, for the faction, or for themselves. I didn't expect that Qi Shin Palace still hasn't opened yet. Luo Feng waited for the palace to open. After all, a pinnacle domain-level treasure in terms of itself, only the Star Pagoda surpassed it. The other treasures were weaker, the Calamity Armor, the Blade Absolute Guest etc. were all weaker by a level. It was rare to get such a treasure. Naturally Luo Feng was filled with endless battle spirit. At the same time, Luo Feng was training the beast god path and studying the engraved diagrams. He temporarily gave up on studying the star pagoda, because the third level of engravings was so complicated that it left him dumbfounded. It obviously far surpassed his current level. Only with higher origin law comprehension and engravings would he be able to comprehend it. 165 years since Luo Feng became the Milky Way leader, Elder God's secret region, within the Rainbow Light Lake, within Circe's Island. Luo Feng stood before the railings of the pavilion, looking at the distant plaza before the island leader's palace. He immediately teleported, and with a schwa, he arrived before the fountain and entered the inheritance grounds. After a while, Luo Feng came out from the fountain again. I can already unleash the Universe Lord's ultimate techniques, and with the Beast God heart, training the Beast God path is indeed godly speed. Luckily, I have the inheritance grounds, able to instill energy over and over again, allowing my efficiency to be maximized. Luo Feng was very clear, every infusion of energy would consume a large amount of energy, hence the inheritance grounds actually had a very powerful control over the number of times. Normally, only those who had just stepped into a new level would have a free inheritance chance. The others would have to exchange for it. It was rare for the other inheritors to exchange for it. However, Luo Feng's mad challenge back then, battling over 620,000 times. This allowed him to have a huge amount of honor points, allowing him to exchange for large amounts of inheritance. And usually only with some comprehension would he proceed to the next inheritance, hence the amount of inheritance per level wasn't too much. Luo Feng. A loud voice resounded in Luo Feng's ears and mind. Luo Feng stood beside the fountain and looked up into the sky. Hua! A beam of light shone down from the depths of the Rainbow Light Lake, enveloping Luo Feng. One end of this light pillar enveloped Luo Feng, the other end, if one looked carefully, it extended towards the depths of the five-colored extreme light lake, the Ancestral God Palace. Ancestral God Palace? Luo Feng looked up, the rainbow lights of the lake automatically parted, forming a path for the beam of light to pass through. Ancestral God. Luo Feng spoke. He could tell that this was the voice of the two-faced ancestral god. Come to me. The voice continued. Immediately a formless energy enveloped Luo Feng, so Luo Feng swiftly followed the beam of light and flew out of Bauhinia Island, rushing into the depths of the Rainbow Light Lake and towards the Ancestral God Palace. At this time, Luo Feng's speed had already far surpassed light speed. To be able to do this in the primal universe, it was obviously something only the strongest in the universe could do. Luo Feng didn't resist this energy. With his abilities, he could easily break through the restraint. As he flew, he saw the 3,000 stars that was the 3,000 God Envoys world. He also saw the 72 God General continents. Every continent was majestic and boundless. He then flew past the Beast God Palace. There were 16 other palaces around the 8-direction Beast God Palace. I've arrived. Luo Feng landed on the majestic palace plaza. This majestic ancestral god palace from afar on Bauhinia Island was indeed terrifyingly huge. At the same time the entire palace emitted an endless amount of power. The power made even Luo Feng, who had seen many treasures, shocked. This ancestral god palace should be a pinnacle flying palace treasure. Luo Feng thought, indeed the ancestral god sect. Even before our human ancestor was suppressed, it was only comparable to the ancestral god sect. Luo Feng, come in. The voice came from the distant shrine. Outside stood 8 guards. These 8 guards were all dressed in golden armor. They were all universe knights. From the pressure emanating from their treasures, their armor and weapons were all treasures. At this time, these 8 knights were all looking at Luo Feng. Yes. Luo Feng took a step and arrived at the entrance of the palace, after which he entered. Within the majestic palace, there were many sky pillars so tall that one couldn't see the end. Every pillar had totem carvings, the carvings of different races, human carvings, bug carvings, automaton carvings. There were also countless alien carvings. In the furthest throne sat the two-faced ancestral god. He gazed down at Luofeng, smiling. According to the information you humans have released, you've already decided on your title. Milky Way leader? Yes. Luofeng nodded. Milky Way leader Luofeng, you've been in the ancestral god sect for quite some time. You've also joined our outer circle. The ancestral god said, even though you're the Milky Way leader now, the grand universe origin laws tell me you haven't actually stepped into the universe lord level. The reason you can unleash the universe lord's ultimate techniques is because of the first appearance of the primal universe's other path. Luofeng was shocked within. The ancestral god sect had publicly announced that they were the protectors of the universe origin laws. Even the primal Chaos City leader and the others said that the universe origin laws were protecting the ancestral god sect from the fact that they were able to pass on their inheritance, and even knew that his techniques were created from another path. Looks like all of this wasn't just a rumor. The day you truly become a universe lord will be the day you become our protector god leader. The ancestral god looked at Luofeng. Don't think too much. Every protector god leader of our ancestral god sect is an extremely powerful universe lord. Normal universe lords can't take up the position. Every divine lord protector has several masters of the universe under him. Luofeng nodded. He knew. Feng Tian god lord, 9 nether god lord, all of them were legendary beings of the universe. His current strength was indeed insufficient to become a protector god leader, on par with the others. You've been in our outer circle for so long, yet you haven't received a single mission. The ancestral god looked at Luofeng. I have a mission for you now. It doesn't involve the human race. The location is extremely far away from the human territories. I wonder if you're willing? As long as it doesn't involve the human race, or my good friends, I'll naturally comply. Luofeng said. He had received the inheritance so many times, and had received many benefits from the ancestral god sect. Back then the ancestral god even personally protected him from the demon god. He naturally had to do his part. What? A golden light flew up and stopped before Luofeng. It was a golden toad carving. The toad's eyes were gray. Take it and head to this territory. Any life form that can cause its eyes to turn red will be destroyed. The ancestral god gazed at Luofeng, and you have to investigate what's happening there. The universe origin energy tells me there is something unfavorable happening to our primal universe. Luofeng took the golden toad and looked at its eyes, turning red. Ancestral god, once its eyes turn red, it means how far away is the life form that caused it? How big is its monitoring range? Luofeng asked. About 100 million kilometers. The ancestral god said, imprint your life force within it, control it, and you can clearly sense it, determine if it's a life form or some wonder that caused this reaction. If it's a life form, no matter who it is, it'll be destroyed. If you're not willing to act, send a message to me, I'll send another member. This is a new communication tag. Back then the one 9 Nether gave you was too low, it couldn't contact me directly, this one can. A golden tag floated over. Luofeng immediately received it. Looking at it, why did this golden tag look so much like the one his teacher sitting mountain passenger made? Go for the great universe origin energy, all life forms that cause its eyes to turn red, destroy them all, don't leave a single one alive. The ancestral god said. Yes. Luofeng bowed. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Today, Saturday, there's an event from 8 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. See the book review section for details. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1163. According to the range the ancestor god gave me, it should be within the Yuan mystery region. On the surface of a barren mineral planet, a silver silhouette broke through the sturdy rocks. Rocks flew everywhere, the silhouette was already in space, floating. Luo Feng stood in space, gazing into the distant space. This is the closest place my slaves can teleport to the Yuan mystery region. Luo Feng nodded and swiftly swapped his body. His earth body entered the world ring and the blood cloud leader appeared out of thin air. With a sweep of his tail and a wave of his hand, a palace appeared in space. Blood Cloud Palace. Go! Entering the Blood Cloud Palace, it became a beam of light and swiftly rose, quickly entering the dark universe, beginning to move at high speeds towards the destination, the Yuan mystery region. After all, he was working for the Ancestor God sect, and it wasn't a life-saving emergency. Luo Feng wouldn't teleport continuously. After all, teleporting time and time again, continuously teleporting for a day or two was extremely tiring, and sitting in the Blood Cloud Palace, even though it was much slower than teleporting, in the dark universe it was still considered fast. Human Domain Primal Region, not far from the Primal Chaos City Leader's palace in space, there were two silhouettes. One was the Primal Chaos City Leader, the other was the Huge Axe Creator. Primal Chaos. The Huge Axe Creator said, "I'm preparing to go to the Universe Sea. I might not be able to return for a long time. I'll leave the protection of humanity to you." To the Universe Sea? The Primal Chaos City Leader frowned. A long time. With the Huge Axe Creator's level, one training session could take up to 10,000 years, hence when he said a long time, it probably wasn't short at all. It could very well be in terms of epoch. However, the Primal Chaos City Leader was curious, with the power of the Huge Axe Creator, why would the Universe Sea take him so long? Don't tell me. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked shocked at the Huge Axe Creator. I'm preparing to go explore the Qing Feng world in the Universe Sea. The Huge Axe Creator saw the city leader's expression and decided to say it. Huge Axe. The Primal Chaos City Leader couldn't help but say, "That's the Qing Feng world. I've acquired one of the incomplete maps of the Qing Feng world." The creator of the giant axe said, "With this piece of map, I can also carefully explore the areas recorded on the map. If I'm lucky, I might be able to obtain a supreme treasure. Even if I'm a little unlucky, I should be able to get a peak domain type supreme treasure." Incomplete map? Primal Chaos City Master said in surprise. The incomplete map of Fallen Peak Realm? Yes. The creator of Great Axe smiled and nodded. Even the Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but be excited. One had to know that the Cosmic Sea was an even more dangerous place outside of the primal universe. The Cosmic Sea could be said to be truly boundless. To this day, not a single expert knew the limits of the Cosmic Sea. The strongest experts in the universe were considered to be very low-key in the primeval universe. However, in the Cosmic Sea, the strongest experts in the universe were more savage, cunning, and ruthless than the last. Fight. Plunder. This happened time and time again in the Cosmic Sea. The Cosmic Sea was the place where the most supreme treasures were born. Almost all of them originated from mysterious places in the Cosmic Sea. For example, the Pinnacle Realm was one of the most dangerous places in the Cosmic Sea. All sorts of treasures, even pinnacle treasures and ultimate treasures, were hidden in some secret places in the Pinnacle Realm. Of course, the Pinnacle Realm was also filled with endless dangers. Just one of them, lost, was enough to make the strongest people in the universe fearful. Because there was no direction to guide them, it was easy to get lost. Even if the strongest experts in the universe could defend against all sorts of dangers, they would never be able to leave the Qing Feng world. They would forever be lost in the depths of the Qing Feng world. Without a map to guide them, the strongest experts in the universe wouldn't dare to casually wander about. The complete Qing Feng world map didn't exist. There were only a few maps that were recorded by countless experts who wandered about and then combined together to form a few incomplete maps. The incomplete maps were the treasures of the various superpowers. The rarer the map, The fewer the explorers and the higher the chances of finding the most valuable treasures. A single incomplete map was enough to make the strongest experts in the universe fight to the death for it. This is an incomplete map of a region in the depths of the Qing Feng world. The creator said solemnly, based on my understanding, there should be very few explorers there. I was lucky enough to obtain this map. I have to rush over and explore that region as soon as possible. Giant Axe, my main body will go with you. The Primal Chaos City Lord said. No. The creator shook his head. The deeper one goes into the Qing Feng world, the more dangerous it gets. Just that bewitching sound, even the Universe Lord might fall into eternal slumber. The Primal Chaos City Lord was shocked. Right, the dangers in the Qing Feng world were even scarier than the strongest experts in the universe. Even if one had the ability to create clones, the moment one's soul was affected, the other clones would be affected too and fall into eternal slumber. This wasn't much different from dying. I know the few most dangerous regions in the Qing Feng world. As long as you don't go there, your life won't be in danger. At most, you will be lost. The Great Axe Creator replied, however, I will follow the incomplete map. If there are any errors in the map, I will immediately return the way I came. You have to be careful. The Primal Chaos City Lord emphasized. To be able to obtain this map is already a huge fortune. This map describes a huge area. It's probably left behind by a power before the Great Apocalypse. With this map as a base, I can explore even more. With some time and luck, I can definitely get an absolute treasure. The creator said, I'm leaving, I'll leave everything to you. Hua. The creator of the Great Axe vanished into thin air. The Primal Chaos City Lord stood in mid-air for a while, nodding. If Giant Axe can get an absolute treasure, our human race will naturally become stronger. Following which he teleported back to his palace. Luo Feng used his identity as the Blood Cloud Palace leader to ride the Blood Cloud Palace through the dark universe with extreme speed. In just 8 days, he arrived at a corner of the Primal Universe secret region. Yuan Mysterious Region. Yuan Mysterious Region. The silver-armored, silver-winged Luo Feng stood in the space of the Yuan Mysterious Region. With a flip of his hand, the golden toad appeared. The golden toad looked normal, its eyes still gray. According to what the ancestor god said, it should be within the Yuan Mysterious Region. Yuan Mysterious Region, according to the information, there are 12 vast continents. Every continent has a diameter of over 1 light-year, while the largest is close to 8 light-years. There are large amounts of different races living there. Luo Feng nodded. The entire Yuan Mysterious Region is the territory of the Lone Ranger, the Yuan Mysterious Lord. The vast continents within the universe secret region were able to sustain a shocking amount of life. It was normal for large amounts of sector lords to be born. However, the special life energy in the universe within a territory was limited. The fewer life forms there were, the more nourishment each life form could receive. For a continent like this, where there were countless people, although the population was large, the number of experts produced was far less than that of a normal star field. Universe secret region continents, with large populations, producing undyings is considered easy. However, universe lords are extremely rare. The entire Yuan Mysterious Region, other than the Yuan Mysterious Lord, there has never been a universe lord. Luo Feng thought, the Yuan Mysterious Lord is a special life form. The Yuan Mysterious Lord was a special life form. His strength was extremely strong, and he roamed the universe alone. Maybe because he felt lonely, he began to wantonly plunder the population of the universe. Those he plundered were all from the weaker races. Over 100 million from one race, over 100 million from another race. Many of the weaker races only had a universe knight at most, who would dare go against the universe lord. What's more, the number of people he plundered wasn't much. A race's population was usually in the trillions. The Yuan mysterious lord only plundered over 100 million. There were many races in the universe. Other than the pinnacle races and the strong races, there were simply too many normal races and weak races. The Yuan mysterious lord wantonly plundered in the universe, taking a total of over 100 lives. He then split them into 12 vast continents, allowing them to multiply and survive. The multiplication was very exaggerated. As time passed, the number of people grew. The Yuan mysterious lord also expanded the 12 continents time and time again, causing them to grow larger and larger, until they reached their current scale. On these 12 continents there were also trillions of living beings. On these 12 continents, undyings were born, causing the normal life forms to worship these undyings and listen to their orders. God wars after God wars were incomparably crazy. Of course, there was a legendary supreme god on the 12 continents, the supreme god Yuan Ao. All living beings worshipped the supreme god Yuan Ao. The Yuan mysterious lord relied on plundering to multiply, relying on the undyings under him. The god wars caused countless normal life forms to kill each other, training the strong through the battles. Life and death battles were indeed a very effective way to train the strong. On the 12 continents, with thousands of gods controlling the god wars, the endless battles continued. The rate at which the battles consumed life forms was completely able to support the reproduction rate, the endless meat grinder god wars. Luo Feng said softly, over the countless years, he actually managed to nurture 10 universe knights and thousands of undyings. Luo Feng smiled. Of course, these universe supremacies were useless in a battle between universe lords. One had to know that he had killed over 6,000 universe supremacies in one move. The true use of universe supremacies was that there was a high possibility of a universe lord emerging from them. Just one was sufficient. According to the ancestor god, there's actually something detrimental to the universe laws happening in the Yuan mysterious region. Luo Feng nodded. I'll first head to the 12 continents to investigate. After all, the life forms of the entire Yuan mysterious region are all on those 12 continents. So, Luo Feng immediately teleported 1,000 light-years, time after time, in the blink of an eye. He had traveled over 1,000,000 light-years. A majestic, endless continent appeared before Luo Feng. This was the Yuan mysterious lord's territory, one of the 12 endless continents. This should be the Dark Awareness continent. Luo Feng nodded. With a single step, he entered the land of infinity. P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1164. The skies of the Endless Land had a thin 7-colored light membrane. It had an extremely strong resistance. Luo Feng naturally passed through it easily. This resistance, I think only sector lords can pass through it. Luo Feng nodded and descended. Just from the air alone, Luo Feng could feel an extremely strong suction force coming from below. The suction force was so strong that even Luo Feng was shocked. Such a strong suction force, I'm afraid only a universe level can maintain flight. In mid-air, it only flickered for a moment before landing on the vast land. The moment his feet touched the ground, the suction force instantly weakened to a negligible level. He said softly, "The Yuan Ao Lord really put in a lot of effort to create these 12 continents. One land, one 7-colored light membrane. Between the two, there would definitely be a strong repulsive force. Only by landing on the ground would one not be affected by this repulsive force?" Luo Feng couldn't help but praise the ability of the Yuan Ao Lord, who had existed since the birth of the universe. At least the creation of these 12 continents probably took a lot of effort. Luo Feng's gaze swept around. This was a black wasteland. With a glance, there were countless bones left on the wasteland. Many of them had already decayed. Some were still very sturdy. Obviously they hadn't been dead for that long. This battlefield has an area of about 10,000 kilometers. The strength of the bones varies. The strongest is only a sector lord. Luo Feng thought. In the entire battlefield, with his holified god energy scanning, he only found a total of 3 sector lord bones. One was buried deep underground, the other 2 were deep in the mountains. There was an extremely majestic and ancient city on each side of the battlefield. There were many soldiers patrolling the city walls that stretched for tens of thousands of kilometers. It was easy to tell that the soldiers were from different races, and the bloody aura coming from the city walls told of the cruel history of war. Battlefield? 2 impregnable passes? Luo Feng swiftly changed. His wings became dark green, his hair became fiery red, and his skin became dark green. This appearance was rather similar to one of the races among the soldiers he scanned with his holified god energy. I actually can't recognize this race. His consciousness swiftly scanned through the virtual universe. What he saw shocked Luo Feng. Card Eagle race? This weak race actually disappeared from the universe a long time ago, leaving only some remnants in the Yuan arcane secret realm. Luo Feng sighed within. Back then, when the Yuan Ao Lord plundered without restraint, I didn't expect him to leave this bloodline for the Card Vulture clan. Shua. Luo Feng took a step and passed the majestic border city, reaching over 100 million km away. That was an incredibly luxurious and vast city, with over 10 million citizens within. It was extremely lively. Luo Feng appeared in the air. Naturally, those normal life forms couldn't even see him. It's still gray. Luo Feng's left palm had a golden toad, its eyes were still gray. Every continent is incomparably huge. This gray toad needs to get within 100 million kilometers of its target before it can sense it. How long will this take? Luo Feng took another step and continued his search. After 100 million kilometers, Luo Feng began his long days of exploration. One had to know that the diameter of these 12 continents ranged from 1 light-year to close to 8 light-years. Every time Luo Feng teleported, he maintained a distance of 100 million kilometers. Even if he teleported 10,000 times a day, it would take him 10 days to pass through a light-year continent. It was a light-year wide. To search all 12 continents, it'll probably take tens of thousands of years. Luckily, I only need to spend a little effort. Luo Feng only split a bit of his consciousness to begin this long journey. The rest of it was completely focused on the beast god path and the engravings. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng had already spent half a year on this continent. None here either. Here, it's red. Luo Feng, who was teleporting time and time again, suddenly stopped. In his hand was the golden toad. Its eyes had already become fiery red. This was the first time in half a year that the golden toad's eyes had turned red. Naturally, it made Luo Feng shiver. His clones stopped their training. It's in that direction. Luo Feng looked up into the distance, after which he teleported to about 1,000,000 km away from his target, following which he began to fly. 1,000,000 km, I'll reach it in a moment. I have to check and see what's going on around the target. To actually be able to make the ancestor god of the universe's #1 power, the ancestor god sect, pay so much attention to it, even saying that something bad has happened to the primal universe. Luo Feng didn't dare be careless. Even the ancestor god said something bad was going to happen to the primal universe. It probably wasn't that simple. Flying high in the sky, his godly energy scanned the surrounding 100,000 kilometers. Luo Feng didn't dare scan too far. This was to prevent the target from escaping. This was also Luo Feng's first time carefully inspecting this vast path. As he did so, he immediately saw many scenes. There were many loves and grudges happening on this land, and this dark awareness continent's unique civilization was revealed to Luo Feng, causing him to be extremely happy. Interesting punk, unlucky punk. Luo Feng's godly energy suddenly locked onto a spot on the ground below. Wei Yan family, just you wait. Bua will definitely become a great saint, razing the entire Wei Yan castle to the ground. On the back of a demon beast with huge fangs was a majestic knight. The knight was tall and sturdy. His entire body was covered in thick armor. Beside the demon beast were two huge blood-colored battle axes. His face was revealed. There was a blade scar, cutting across half of his face, making him seem even more ferocious. "You dare insult me like this? I've worked for him, fought life and death battles, yet you dare insult me like this, even stealing my maid and giving her to someone else. I will definitely take revenge, definitely. When I return, I will definitely become a great saint, raising the entire Wei Yan castle." The demon beast knight cursed. The demon beast too galloped on all fours. Rumble, the galloping sounds behind him rumbled. The magical beast rider looked behind him, and his eyes instantly widened. His face turned pale, as he saw over 100 magical beast riders charging towards him. Gagagagaga, an ear-piercing cry rang out in the air, causing the magical beast rider, Bua, to turn his head and look towards the sky. There was an enormous exotic beast in midair. That exotic beast's entire body was fiery red, and its scaled wings were surrounded by flames. Fire-winged dragon. There are only a total of 9 fire-winged dragons in Wei Yan Castle. To kill me, a level 5 knight, they actually sent one and over 100 demon beast knight. A crazed look appeared in Bua's eyes, and he suddenly grabbed the 12-meter-long knight's spear that was resting on the back of the demon beast. He gripped the spear with both hands, facing the rapidly approaching fire-winged dragon in the sky, causing beads of sweat to roll down Bua's face, his entire body trembling slightly as he stared at it with clenched teeth. It wasn't that he was afraid, but that the pressure from the fire-winged dragon in the sky was too strong. The fire-winged dragon required a level 9 knight, second only to a saint, to be able to match it. He was a level 5 knight. Even if there were 1,000 of them, they wouldn't be able to defeat a single fire-winged dragon. Boom! The demon beast he was riding on went limp at the knees, causing Bua to tumble in mid-air and quickly fall to the ground. Although his body tumbled to the ground, the huge spear in his hand was still pointed at the distant sky. Wei Yan family! Wei Yan family! Damn it! Even if your grandfather Bua dies, he will still turn into a demon knight to find you. Bua roared. Ha ha ha! Demon knight! Dream on! The fire-winged dragon circled in the sky. The other demon beast knights swiftly caught up, quickly surrounding Bua in the middle. This group of demon beast riders, according to Luo Feng's judgment, they should be from 3 different races. In terms of power, that flying beast should be at least a star level 7 or 8, even though only a universe level could fly. This beast could use its wings to borrow strength, and its own body's strength to fly. As for the other knights, they were all Star Traveler level. The highest was only a Star Traveler level 9. Bua, I won't bully you, my underlings won't make a move, just me alone will deal with you. A knight dressed in the most beautiful armor rode a snow-white unicorn beast. Come, come, let your grandfather Bua spank your butt. Bua, wielding the enormous spear, grinned like a mad demon as he stared at the handsome knight. He understood, in front of the Blaze family, he was just an ant. Even though he knew that he would die if he resisted, he could not swallow his anger. Suddenly, the land and skies quietened down, time seemed to stop, the wild grass by the side of the road bent and stopped moving, the knights and the beasts circling in mid-air also stopped moving. What's going on? Bua wielded his spear in fear. A silhouette slowly walked over, smiling as he looked at Bua. It's you. The man with the dark green wings looked at him and said, following which a formless energy wrapped around Bua. Shwa. Over 1,000 km away in the wilderness, Bua fell to the ground. He immediately stood up, mumbling to himself, What the hell, did your grandfather Bua meet the devil? Where's the fire-winged dragon? Where is this? This tall and sturdy big man looked in fear at the silhouette standing before him. That silhouette was dressed in a seemingly simple black robe, with dark green wings, dark green skin, fiery red short hair. His entire being seemed to emit a strange demonic energy. Lord. Bua bowed. I've come to this world to find a life form to ask some questions. You have been chosen by me. Luo Feng looked at Bua. I know you're afraid of the Wei Yin family. Don't worry, the team chasing after you will only think you've escaped. You're guessing my identity? Saint? Legend? Half-god? Bua was even more terrified. This being before him actually knew exactly what he was thinking. Luo Feng laughed. A universe level could easily search the soul of a star traveler. With his current power, how could this weak punk's thoughts escape his detection? Luo Feng casually teased this punk, at the same time swiftly scanning his memories, carefully searching through them. Interesting world. Interesting punk. Luo Feng looked at Bua, simultaneously turning to look at the distant mountain range, the place that caused the golden toad's eyes to turn red. The person living there is actually a legend among the aboriginals. I admire your mental state, only I'm curious, if you have enough power, what will you become? Luo Feng looked at the fearful and uneasy Bua before him. Immediately, from the sea of materials in his world ring, a very normal and unique fruit from the universe appeared in Luo Feng's palm. Following which, it became a green light and enveloped Bua. Bua was shocked, immediately covered in the green light. Under Luo Feng's divine energy control, Bua's body constantly absorbed the energy essence and broke through time after time. His life force and genes rose at a terrifying rate. The energy within him constantly broke through. In an instant, a universe level 9 was born. And Luo Feng smiled as he watched this. Since he had already obtained the information he wanted, he did as he pleased. To a great universe lord, a universe fruit's value was negligible. After which he turned and took a step and left. P.S. First chapter has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1165. Bua felt endless pain spread throughout his body. The pain brought about by the continuous rise of his genes was incomparably terrifying, and Bua could not even think. Only when the pain faded did Bua slowly open his eyes. Looking around, he could even see the distant mountains clearly. Bua instantly felt his vision and hearing increase by thousands of times. Such great power, too powerful. The scar on Bua's face had already disappeared, revealing his rough face that seemed to be carved out of stone. He stretched out his thick arms and tried to exert force. Crack, the full-body heavy armor on his body that even a grade 7 knight would need to go all out to break crack. Bua only felt that the armor he was wearing was as weak as mud, as if the armor would completely shatter if he tightened his muscles even a little. He could not help but be dumbfounded. Could it be that Could it be that? Bua immediately began to inspect his body, and this inspection left him dumbfounded. Really, this is real? Bua began to slowly float in midair, and the vigorous origin power in his body caused him to suddenly let out a low roar. Boom! He turned into a stream of light and soared into the sky. Following that, he flew in an S-shaped arc in the sky at high speed. Finally, he spun and fell rapidly from the sky, only stopping when he was only an inch above the ground. Ha, it's true, I've become a saint. And a pinnacle saint. Just a little bit more and I'll become a legend. Ha, Supreme God Yuan Ao above. Mighty God Boa. Bua was wild with excitement. In this endless dark perception continent there were billions of races, and it was an extremely difficult path to go from 1st to 9th grade. For example, Bua had been a knight apprentice since he was young, doing such chores as serving tea to a 2nd grade knight, and occasionally receiving pointers. Only then was he able to slowly grow. Once he became a knight, he began to experience many wars between lords, and even wars between empires. He had been in the army, and had also been trapped in a slave camp. He had crawled out time and time again, surviving battles of life and death, crossing the threshold from 3rd to 4th grade. Only then could he enter the Blaze family, and become a knight of the Blaze family. The Blaze family was a family that ruled over a vast territory, and there was even a saint in the family. 3rd to 4th grade. This is a big threshold. Advancing from rank 6 to rank 7 was also a huge threshold. As for advancing from the 9th rank to the saint realm, it was even more difficult. Once one became a saint, one would be able to roam the world with unparalleled might. In the dark perception continent, one would be considered an expert. Once he became a legend, it would be even more incredible. It would be easy for him to establish a lordship kingdom. Once he became a demigod, he would be able to establish an empire and become the founding emperor. Those below grade 3 were cannon fodder. Bua had worked hard to become a grade 5 knight, but he could only be considered an elite knight. A saint! He's still a peak saint, just one step away from the legend rank. Bua was extremely shocked. I've only heard that one can ascend to the heavens in a single step after receiving a divine gift. Otherwise, it would take thousands of years to cultivate from a rank 5 knight to a peak saint. That great existence actually allowed me to reach such a level in an instant. He must be a god. But that's not God Pova. Bua's body trembled. There were a total of several hundred gods in the entire Dark Awareness continent, and each god ruled over an area that was hundreds of millions of kilometers wide. Yes, God? Bua was shocked. The war between gods was the main theme of the entire Dark Awareness continent. Over the countless years, the war between gods had never stopped. I can't tell anyone. I can't tell anyone. In the future, I can't even tell my women or my son. If it gets out, it'll be a disaster. If others know that I actually received a gift from ES God, it'll be over. Bua gritted his teeth and memorized it. Then, he grinned and looked in the direction of the Wei Yin Castle. The Wei Yin Castle, the legendary master of the Wei Yin Castle, only became a saint 100 years ago. He is still far from being a peak saint, haha, my Bua's blissful days are coming. I want to rule over a territory and build a huge castle. There will be tens of thousands of beautiful women living in it. I'll sleep with one a day, haha. Bua's body trembled. Immediately, his armor shattered into pieces. At the same time, his genetic energy condensed into a set of armor on the surface of his body. Following which, he became a beam of light and flew towards the Wei Yin Castle. Luo Feng stood in mid-air and gazed at the distant mountain range. Raging Flame Mountain Range, the target is within. Luo Feng gazed from afar. To actually attract the attention of the ancestral god Sex Elder God, is it a life form or a wonder? He had casually helped Bua earlier. This had been thrown to the back of Luo Feng's mind. Before, he purely needed to understand the situation of the surrounding world. Hence, he chose Bua. He found Bua pleasing to the eye. It was a form of compensation for browsing through his memories. According to Bua's memories, the mountain range ahead was called Raging Flame Mountain Range. There lived a great legend within it. Legend? Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. Even though the Dark Awareness continent was in a universe-secret region, due to Lord Yuan Ao's wanton breeding of his people, the amount of universe energy they received was too little. Also, the races that Lord Yuan Ao stole from back then were considered weak and had little potential. Hence, the majority of the life forms in the Dark Awareness continent had just reached adulthood, not much stronger than the adults of Earth. Level 1 to 3 were below the Star Traveler level. Level 4 to 6 were Star Traveler level. Level 7 to 9 were Star level. Saints were universe level. Legends were domain lords. Half-god were sector lords. And the gods were naturally undying. There's definitely more than one legend living in this Raging Flame Mountain Range. Luo Feng thought. He could faintly feel the ripples of god energy. The moment I make a move, I'll definitely make sure the enemy can't escape. Luo Feng's expression became serious. The Raging Flame Mountain Range spanned over 1,000,000 kilometers. There were many powerful demon beasts living within. Hence, there weren't any civilians living within 10,000 kilometers of the Raging Flame mountain range. And deep within the Raging Flame mountain range, a completely black castle was built in the center of many mountain peaks. Below the entire castle was boiling magma. Within the magma, one could see many beasts living within. On the walls of this black castle were many golden armored knights. Every one of them was level 9. This was enough to take over a large piece of territory in the outside world. The castle was surrounded by magma. A black metal bridge connected the gates to the outside world. An old man wearing a long white robe was approaching from afar, each step crossing over 100 meters. There was also a faint white radiance swirling around him, and if one had enough experience, they would be able to tell that he was a legend with a domain. The legend soon stepped onto the bridge. "Open the gates," the old man ordered. "Yes." The gates rumbled as they slowly opened. At the entrance stood a knight covered in flames. That knight was also a legend. "Why have you come?" The Flame Knight said. "Don't you know not to come if there's nothing important? I have urgent military news to report to the great god Pova." The white-robed old man swiftly headed into the black castle. Within a large hall deep within the castle, a god who was emitting endless light was sitting high up on the throne. God Boa was overlooking the servants below him, listening to the reports from the servants. There was a sense of superiority and control in his heart. After all, he was the one who was in control of a large number of bloody battles between empires within a territory of hundreds of millions of kilometers. He was the one who was controlling everything in the dark. He was controlling the empires to deepen the hatred between them, and he was controlling everything to become crazy. It was only when everything was out of control that he would show himself and show his majesty as a god. "You've done well." God Pova finally spoke. The white-robed old man, who was kneeling below, was so moved that he started crying. The great god had actually praised him. The white-robed old man wanted to wait for God Pova's instructions for the next step, but he only felt a blurry flash of golden light. He immediately raised his head and discovered to his astonishment, "Where's God Pova?" God Pova, who was originally emitting an endless amount of light on the throne, had actually disappeared into thin air. The other attendants and even the 3 demigods in the hall were slightly astonished. Immediately after, one of the demigods immediately said, "God Pova has already gone to rest. All of you can leave." There's still no instructions for the next step. The white-robed old man was anxious in his heart, but he quickly replied, "Yes." One by one, the people in the hall left rapidly. Even the demigods left. They all thought that God Pova must have something important to do when he suddenly left. However, they didn't know that. They thought that God Pova had left, but in reality, God Pova had always been sitting on the throne. It was just that the sector lords and region lords had suddenly disappeared. Who are you?" God Pova sat on the throne, looking at the man in front of him in terror. He had been sitting on the throne for a long time, but he had never been so terrified before. The blurry golden light enveloped the surrounding 100 area. The power of this golden light made God Pova tremble in fear. Luo Feng looked at God Pova before him and couldn't help but mock himself. "To think I was so careful. The moment I arrived, I immediately unleashed my strongest binding technique. Golden Country. I didn't expect the target to be a weak little undying." Luo Feng had instantly unleashed the Golden Country in the air above Raging Flame mountain range. The moment he unleashed it, he realized the target was too weak. He immediately teleported before the target and simultaneously shrunk the area of the Golden Country. Hence, the demigods and white-robed old man from before noticed the flash of the golden light. "Tell me all the important events from your birth till now," Luo Feng ordered. Yes, God Pova said. "I was born." Luo Feng seemed to be listening. In truth, he had already unleashed his illusions. His willpower and consciousness was after all at the Universe Lord level. And he was a spirit reader, even though he wasn't proficient in illusions, that was only when compared to others of the same level. As a warrior of the engraving school, he had long created many illusions, easily causing God Pova to fall completely into his illusions. His memories were easily searched by Luo Feng. Because Luo Feng used the golden toad to confirm. The target was this God Pova before him. However, a weak little undying, would it be detrimental to the primal universe? Would it make the high and mighty ancestor god of the ancestral god sect ask him to make a move? Luo Feng felt that something wasn't right. He could feel the layers of mystery within. This god Pova was just the tip of the iceberg, hence he had to carefully search through his memories. P.S. 2 chapters completed. It's a new week. I hope everyone recommends and votes for Tomato. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation.